Tennessee sports. And the NCAA proudly present the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships. Coverage presented by AT&T and Stiefel. 126th edition of the NCAA Men's Division I Championships. We want to wish all of you a happy Memorial Day from Carlsbad, California. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course. The 9th straight venue to host both the women's and men's NCAA Division I Golf Championships. And this golf course redesigned by Gil Hans, Jim Wagner and company. And weather conditions in Carlsbad, 63 degrees, winds out of the west about 10 miles per hour. It's been consistent that way throughout the course of this week and last week. A national championship is on the line today. An individual title will be handed out today, as well as the team championship on Wednesday. We take a look at the tournament format. It is presented by Titleist through the regionals. 30 teams were able to advance here to Carlsbad, California, Friday through Sunday. 54-hole stroke play. Top 15 teams and individuals advanced to today. The individual national championship will be crowned today. The top 8 teams of those 15 advance to match play. Quarterfinals tomorrow morning on Tuesday. Semifinals in the afternoon, and we'll crown a national team championship with the championship matches on Wednesday. This was a moment ago at 3. Georgia Tech sophomore Hiroshi Tai playing his second shot at the par 3. And how about that? Knocks it in. Tai trying to win the individual title. He started the day 3 shots back, and now Tai has the lead by 3. The only individual champion to ever come from Georgia Tech, Troy Madison, in 2002. Over at the par 5-6, Gordon Sargent of Vanderbilt, who won the individual title in 2022 as a freshman, playing his 3rd at the par 5. He's in the mix, and he'll have a good look for birdie at the par 5-6. Right now, as a team, Vanderbilt comfortably inside that top 8, but Hiroshi Tai is 5 under on his round today, and he got a lot of work done on the back 9, which has been the hardest 9 of the 2 throughout the course of this week and last week. Adam Wallen just made a double bogey at the 9th, his first double of the week. He's at 4 under par. Ben James of Virginia, 4 under par. Christian Moss, Carl Phillips, Gordon Sargent are 4 shots back. Sargent will have a good look at birdie at the par 5-6, setting up to be an exciting day here in Carlsbad, California. So Illinois right now is in the top spot. You take a look at Illinois, Virginia, Vanderbilt, North Carolina, Florida State. They're pretty safe to make it to match play. But how about Auburn, the #1 team in the country? Right now they're in the 9th spot. Texas, the host institution, a couple of shots out. Oklahoma 4 under on their round today. Ohio State, a little bit of a free fall, but 5 players out, 4 counting players. There can be tremendous fluctuation in the scores over the span of just a couple of holes. Meanwhile, over at 14, just a moment ago, Remy Chartier of East Tennessee State with some speed, and boom, that goes in. And, you know, you take a look at East Tennessee State. I mean, they're not that far out of the equation. They're only 5 shots back, and you make a long putt like that, things can change in a hurry. Settle in for this Memorial Day Championship Monday. Bob Papa, John Cook won a national championship at Ohio State. Steve Burkowski also calling the action. Billy Ray Brown won 3 national championships at the University of Houston, as well as an individual title as a freshman. Jim Gallagher Jr. representing those Tennessee Vols, and Brentley Romine handling our interviews. Now over at the 6th, Gordon Sargent has this for birdie. Billy Ray Brown with this match or group.
Well, thank you, Bob. His putt straight back up the hill. You got to be kidding me, not taking advantage of that. And John Cook, that just carried too much pace.
It did, no doubt about that. Billy Ray just tried to slam it right in the middle, and I don't think you can do that around here. You got to let that golf hole catch the ball.
That's Carl Phillips of Stanford, his second shot at 16.
Yeah, the par 3, playing 156 yards a day, but it's been given the players last week and this week all kinds of fits, that little devilish little par 3.
Phillips shot 69-68 the first 2 days, but yesterday a 76. Well, we're going to have an individual champion crown today, but John, let's talk about this golf course because it's brand new. It's undergone a renovation from Gil Hans's group, Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. What are the challenges that these teams and these individuals are facing here?
Well, we
today?
saw David Smallwood, the agronomy expert here, that in his crew, they've done an amazing job. He keeps calling this golf course young. It is very young. It's been open only a couple of weeks. The greens have not been top dressed. They have not been punched. So the greens are going to be firm, and the players are going to have to adapt. They're going to have to adjust to the firmness of the greens, which way is the wind blowing, where's the hole location. Do I go with this flag? Do I not go with this flag? It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of patience around this golf course.
And we've seen the change in the leaderboard as far as the individual is concerned, with Adam Wallen making that double bogey at the 9th. So you have the individual title on the line. That'll be crowned today. But then you have the team competition, as Auburn, the #1 team in the country right now, is in the 9th spot. There's a lot of emotions that you have to keep in check today.
Boy, is there ever. I mean, the coaches are just, they're out there just pumping up their players. Their #1s or #2s. They know what their job is. Their #3, 4, and 5. Just stay in the ball game. Just get us to the match play. Then anything can happen in this type of format. So the coaches are just discipline, patience, guys. Try to take advantage of some opportunities. Bogeys won't unsettle you, but doubles and triples will certainly knock you right down the leaderboard.
And 7th is a hole that you can attack. Sargent aggressive off the tee, so he'll have an opportunity here after missing that short birdie putt at the par 5 6th. Hiroshi Tai 5 under on his round today, and he has now opened up a 3-shot lead. Gordon Sargent was the champion back in 2022, and over at the 7th, this is Ben James of Virginia on the tee.
Tee shot plays straight back downhill 25 yards, 326 to that bunker on the right hand side. Just really a beautiful framed hole here off the tee.
That ball just got through the fairway, Billy Ray, and into that bunker. And with this hole location in that back, that kind of an infinity pin.
Let's send it over to Steve Burkowski over at 7.
Good afternoon, Bob. Third member of this group, Max Herendeen from Illinois. He's got driver.
Yeah, the freshman from Bellevue, Washington. Yeah, really good golf swing. Of course, we say that about a lot of the college players, but very powerful. You can take over that bunker on the left-hand side. That really doesn't come into play for these players, and that's the line you're looking at off the tee.
Yeah, he pointed to the right, into that right bunker as well there, Billy Ray. That's going to be tough. It's going to be a long second down the hill, that tough hole location.
At the par 5 18th, Jackson Coyven of Auburn playing his third, and dumps that in the back bunker.
Got a little too much golf ball right there out of the rough. Get out of position on this golf course. It'll make you pay. Uber talented freshman right there.
Carl Phillips of Stanford has this putt for par at 16 after a wild miss to the right with his tee shot at the par 3. Stanford had an awful day yesterday. They shot 19 over as a team. They did not advance to the final 15 here today, but Phillips playing as an individual. And again, Phillips started this day 2 off the lead. He's going to give one back over at the par 3 16. Race for the top 8 spots. Keep your eye on Georgia Tech, in Oklahoma, Auburn, and Texas. Those top 8 advance to match play, plus the individual championship hanging in the balance today. Auburn's Jackson Coyven has this putt for par, and Auburn, the #1 team, came out of the Baton Rouge regional, shot 21 under as a team, won by 8 shots, and right now Auburn in a heap of trouble.
Yeah, kind of bladed that little pitch shot across the green and made a mess out of this hole, but what a year he's had.
Yeah, the freshman from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 2 wins, including the SEC championship, SEC Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Ben Hogan Award winner, Haskins Award finalist.
Saw him play a little bit at the U.S. Amateur last year at Cherry Hills. Made it to the quarterfinals as a high school senior.
Georgia Tech sophomore Hiroshi Tai playing his second shot into 4. His 13th hole of the day, and it's not going to come off all that much. It's got to be further left of the hole for it to come off that embankment. Drew Goodman of Oklahoma playing his 3rd shot.
Big boy golf hole right here. This par 4 always was one of the toughest golf holes that we played all year, even way back when. Just a tough tee shot, and it's long.
Back over to 7.
Ben James, second from the fairway bunker.
Yeah, ball on the way there. Ball was sitting down in the bunker. That was from 201 there for Ben James. Anything on the putting surface is going to be good.
That's pretty well done there, Billy Ray. Needs to hold on, and it does. Very well played there, Ben James.
Keep it right here at the 7th. Gordon Sargent getting ready to go after a long and impressive tee shot that we see quite often from Gordon Sargent, the junior from Vanderbilt. And according to Bushnell, 148 to the hole.
And just a 148 there for Gordon. Go position there, John Cook. Take advantage of a long tee shot out to the right.
This is going to miss right. It needs to hold on. Depends on the lie right there, Billy Ray, down in that rough. But that pin position today is so diabolical. It looks like an infinity pin back on a narrow section of the green.
Christian Moss of Texas playing his 2nd into the 4th.
Well, that from 118 yards, if you can hold it here.
Pin in that back corner there, Jim, and well done.
Jim
Excellent
Gallagher
play.
Jr. with this grouping of Hiroshi Tai, Christian Moss, and Johnny Kiefer of Baylor. Back over at 14. Goodman for his par. Oklahoma started yesterday on the back 9, and as a team they shot 2 under to vault into the top 15, and
let that one slip away. Par on the tough par 4, 14th. Always good.
Right now, the non-counting score for Oklahoma is Luke Kluver, who's 5 over. Take it back over to 4, and Hiroshi Tai getting ready to play his 3rd shot. Jim, putting through this, what's your take on it? Is it sticky or does it roll through fairly well?
This should be pretty good. There's a little bit, maybe just short of the fringe there might be a little bit more of a kick to the left, to his left, I guess, but it rolls out pretty well. That first kick just took that huge kick. If the whole location's more left, the slope is a little bit more of a kind of an aid for these guys. But this is not a difficult shot. It's about 10 feet to get it to the green. It's not lightning fast, but it has some decent speed. But man, what a start he's had today, John.
Yeah, no doubt about it. After a rough go on the 2nd round, played pretty well yesterday, and just an incredible start. Now going into what they call the easier of the 9 holes to finish up on. This putt does go down grain the first 10 feet like Jim was describing. Then once it gets on the green, not much to it after that. It's holeable though.
It is, and 7, 8, 9 are actually played tough for this today, where it hasn't really all week. But this makes this one be 3 in a row.
Yeah, you think about it, John. He chunked his tee shot at the par 3.
Laid it up to a good number, I guess.
And then he pitches it in. That could have easily gone the other way. That could potentially win him the individual title, that pitch in over at number 3, because again, as Jim has talked about, you've talked about, he's got the par 5, 6 still to come. He's got easier holes coming in. 7 is gettable. 9 has been difficult. And for all the guys on the other side, there's not a lot of birdie holes coming in, Burko.
No, not too many. Better take advantage early on the front as we watch Herendeen's 3rd at 7.
Yeah, drove it in the bunker off the tee, laid up to this position.
Yeah, didn't want to get too frisky with that one, Billy Ray, and hit it over the back of the green.
We'll take you over to the par 3/8. We'll follow the tee shot with Top Tracer Technology, presented by AT&T. Tyler Goki.
And Bob, I didn't think they were going to use this tee, playing it over 200 yards to a green that is absolutely rock hard. You see how that ball is chasing out, but what a tee shot. Tyler Goki.
And that's going to help Illinois' cause. They currently sit in the top spot right now, 2 shots clear of Virginia. North Carolina, Vanderbilt, Florida State, they're in really good shape to make the top 8. But then you look at that: Florida, Auburn, Oklahoma, Ohio State. A lot of twists and turns, and it depends on what side of the golf course you're finishing on as well. Par 72 for the men, playing 7,538 yards. Take it back over to 7.
Ben James from Virginia, long birdie putt to get the 5 under.
Hit a nice approach out of the fairway bunker to this point on this difficult par 4. Take that par, run to number 8.
A year ago, Ben, a first-team All-America selection, National Freshman of the Year, and the sophomore continues to lead the way for the Cavaliers this season.
Good player, really good.
Look, this is a hole that Adam Wallen's got to make up some ground. The gettable par 5 10th.
Nice tee shot on this par 5. Just an iron into this green. That'll wander its way off the right-hand side. But that's okay. Pin in the back left. Going to have to negotiate a little bit of a slope and some ridges right there, but see if he can bounce back with a birdie.
Over at 7, Gordon Sargent looking to save par. Played a nice 3rd from right of the green, John.
Nice pitch shot up the hill out of the rough, and nice up and down there for Gordon.
So he will remain 3 under, 4 back. Plenty of golf remaining for the junior. Take a look at how things stack up on the individual side of things. Medalist going to be crowned today a national champion. Right now, Hiroshi Tai, the sophomore from Georgia Tech, 5 under today, 7 under for the week. Got a 3-shot lead, and Tai opened up with 5 under. 67, gave it all back with 5 over 77, but to sort of find his way the last couple of days, impressive stuff, John, considering the big names chasing him.
Yeah, the second day he had a little stumble on the incoming 9 holes where he made a triple bogey, a bogey, and a bogey back to back. So a great comeback there for Hiroshi, and seems to have it going, trying to get it to the house.
His first 31 holes, he was 5 under. His final 5 holes of the second round, he was 5 over. And his last 30 holes, he's been 7 under. John, we figured that guys going for the green at 10, a lot of second shots would wind up in this spot.
Yeah, it's just the angle that they have to play from, Bob. If they do hit their tee ball in the fairway, it sits at an awkward angle, so anything up the right-hand side is going to kind of funnel off the right side of the green. But this is cross-country putt right here.
Pretty significant right to left break as it climbs that hill.
It does, and then it'll go away from him. So right there, it'll go up the slope, start going left. Needs to pick up a little bit of speed. That's pretty well done, though, for Adam. You get a little bit frisky with that, you can knock it off the other side of the green.
NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships continues tomorrow. Quarterfinal coverage, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Then team match play semifinals, 6 Eastern, live on Golf Channel. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Let's go out to the 5th. Christian Moss from Texas, his second shot upcoming.
Yeah, it plays about 7 yards uphill. He's got 188. The whole location just on about 22 steps. Something short of the hole will work. A little bit downwind.
Yeah, interesting approach shot here. Jim. I mean, you've got mounds on the right and the left. Long, skinny green. That's underneath the hole. That's okay.
Let's go over to 10.
Peter Fountain of North Carolina has this putt for birdie. North Carolina started the day at plus 15 as a team right now. They're 10 under today. Back over to 5.
Where we got Hiroshi Tai getting ready with that 3-shot lead.
Yeah, a little bit of a downslope, 165, a little help in wind. Ball doesn't go as far here at sea level, so you got to play that factor and the bounce.
Yeah, it got that heavy air, that ocean air. Jim, I grew up in this stuff. The ball doesn't go anywhere, so you have to account for that. That's really well done. Might get a little bit better. Didn't quite come off that slope, but good look at birdie there.
To the green at 11, Neil Shipley, Ohio State Buckeye. This for par. Ohio State currently 7th as a team at 19 over. And all those putts, Sean, on the incoming holes in the back 9 going to be more and more stressful, not only for Ohio State, but all the teams trying to secure a spot in the match
definitely.
play.
And Neil hasn't really had his game on since that great showing at the Masters. So needs a good 9 holes right here.
Illinois leading the way, the only team under par. 3 clear of Virginia. And again, the top 5 at the moment look good to make it to match play. It's kind of 6 through 10, 6 through 11, and teams may be finishing on the front side with the advantage as we head over to 8.
Gordon Sargent, his tee shot at the 8th.
Yeah, coming in very high. 188 clears the bunker on the right, 200 of the hole.
Green is rock hard, Billy Ray, and that hit right in the upslope.
Very fortunate that ball came in so high and soft, John.
Yeah, that was a nice shot there for Gordon.
To the green at 15, Ben Lorenz, at 14. A par putt, nonetheless, a big one for the Sooners.
Cross the hole right there. That's a tricky little hole location on that big par 4 there at the 14th. Yeah.
And Bob, we can't stress it enough covering the women as we did last week of how difficult the finishing 6 holes are.
And this hole has been difficult on the front 9. Just trying to hold the green as Ben James' tee shot is on its way.
Yeah, it's coming in very high as well, just left of the flag. You can't go long here.
That big, huge first bounce, but had a nice little check on it right at hole high. Nice shot.
Over at 16.
That back bunker's got a lot of action. It's had a lot of action in these 2 weeks. Green is rock hard as well.
And he is a counting score for Oklahoma. Ryder Cowan currently at 1 under. Green is just so firm here at 16. In the renovation, they move this green over, and the inspiration for this hole is the 12th at Augusta. Back over to 15.
Drew Goodman from Oklahoma, this for birdie, and we were talking about it during the break. Goodman made an eagle 2 at the 11th. Cowan made an eagle 2 at 13. So for Oklahoma to get a little bit of a quick start in the back 9, enormous. Now we'll see if they can hang on to it.
Yeah, does go to the right across the hole. That looked good for a long time. Putt goes up that little bit of a slope. We'll see that putt a lot coming down the stretch here as we run to the end. Tough to get it close to this hole location.
But if we've seen anything through the years, Ryan Hybl, the head coach of the Sooners, they roll up their sleeves. They'll get after it as they look to make a return trip to match play as the race for 8 continues on this Monday from La Casa. Also, an individual champ will be crowned at day's end.
Comprehensive renovation in Omni La Casa was recently completed by Hans Golf Course Design. North Course, 6 sets of tees, can play at anywhere from 4,500 to 7,500 yards to accommodate players of all different skill levels. Additional portions of the completed project are environmental in nature, like transitioning irrigation lines that will continue to use reclaimed water. Man-made ponds removed. Drought-tolerant native species. Hans and his team implemented significant design changes with the NCAA's match play format in mind, as well as fashioning a layout ideal for the best players in the game to test their skills at the highest level moving forward. over at the par 3 8th. Gordon Sargent, currently 4 off the lead in the individual, has this putt for birdie.
Cookie, this is a really good look coming back up the slope. It is going to break from his right to left, but one that he can be pretty aggressive with.
Yeah, right there goes up a little bit of a slope. Now right to left. Did he hit it? Yes, he did. Gordon Sargent making a run. That is not surprising.
Missed that short one over at 6. So we take you over to the 5th.
Hiroshi Tai looking to extend his lead.
He could slide if he doesn't hit it hard enough.
Yeah, he's got it aimed pretty straight here, Jim. Looking for it to go left. And got a little frisky with that one.
At the par 5 10th, Ohio State's Adam Wallen has this putt for birdie. Needs it badly after that double at the 9th.
Good looking putting stroke right there. Good 2-putt from off the right edge of the green right there. Long distance. Needed that little bounce back.
Ben James of Virginia, his birdie putt at the 8th.
Coming from the opposite side of the hole than we saw.
That's why these two are two of the best in the game.
That's pretty special. You sitting on this tee, John, you're thinking, okay, just let me have 3 and get to the 9th tee. That's 2 great birdies by some of the best we have in college golf.
I didn't think they would use that back tee. Honestly, 200 yards to a very firm green downwind.
John, can it free up a little bit when you know your team is comfortably in, as far as the individuals concerned, as Cowan has a big par putt for Oklahoma at 16.
I think both.
Right.
I think both Gordon and Ben know their positions on their respective teams. They're the guy. They're supposed to be the guy. They're supposed to play like the guy. So anything they can do, helps their team in that team race.
Max Herendeen for his par at the 8th. So he makes that. So all 3 of these teams are comfortably inside the top 8. Illinois, Virginia, and Vanderbilt here playing together. Let's go over to 18 as Carl Phillips, his 9th hole of the day. This is his 2nd shot. Phillips shot 76 yesterday after rounds of 69 and 68. Still in the mix for the individual title.
Yeah, drove it way down there. Now taking a go at this green, Bob. Going to try to press the issue. That's a low draw. There's a cross hazard right there and bounced over the hazard, but that is not in a good spot. Short-sided, out of the rough, not a whole lot of green.
And while Phillips is trying to win an individual national championship, it's a big day for him on this list. The PGA Tour University ranking. Michael Thorbjornsen locked up that top spot. He's headed to the PGA Tour. 2 through 5, fully exempt on the Korn Ferry Tour. 6 through 10, conditionally exempt on the Korn Ferry Tour. And the rest of that list heading to the PGA Tour Americas. We saw what Ludwig Oberg did, earning that spot a year ago. So caught up with Michael earlier today. He's thrilled at the opportunity to be playing with the big boys just a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, and he'll have 18 months to show his worth.
All right, let's head over to 11. Adam Wallen from Ohio State, his 2nd at the short par 4. He's 5 under, 2 back.
Yeah, laid the ball up. A little full shot to this kind of back center hole. Okay, watch out.
It's gone.
That will end up in the red hazard, red penalty area. Such a dangerous little hole in that hole location right there. You have to play up to that hole. Get that landed just over the bunker. He just looked like he might have cut it a groove low.
Head over to 9. Gordon Sargent, less than driver.
Yeah, ample room to put this ball in the fairway at the 9th. Slight breeze back in from the right.
Yeah, the more you can hug the right side here, Billy Ray, it kind of shortens up the hole. That's just fine. Hole location today, not in a too difficult a spot in that kind of back center. Yesterday was diabolical on that front part of the green.
And you look at Sargent, his bio, wrapping up his junior year at Vanderbilt, won this championship as a freshman in 2022 at Grayhawk. He was the low-am at last year's U.S. Open. He's already got the 20 points to head to the PGA Tour through their PGA Tour U accelerated program, but coming back to Vanderbilt for his senior year. He's already got 7 collegiate wins and looking to add more to that with one more go around in Nashville as we watch Ben James at 9. He does have driver.
Yeah, I think he'll be more aggressive, trying to hug that right-hand side, as you said, John Cook. Powerful swing there by James.
Yeah, on balance, very athletic, and that is A1. They might just get through. Oh, just through, just in the rough. Ball sitting up, though.
Over at 11, Luke Clanton from Florida State, his second. We saw the big bounce from Wallen a short moment ago.
And this needs to slow down. Oh, just grew some teeth at the very, very end. That's what Adam needed, but good shot in there from Luke Clanton.
Yeah, that's a great look from the view Adam Wallen doesn't want to be dealing with right now.
No, now it's just ultra important for him and his psyche. I mean, nice birdie back there at 10. Get this ball up and in. Limit the mistake.
And to the flip side of the question Bob just asked you, when you know your team's comfortably in, maybe it frees up an individual. The Buckeyes with some wiggle room, but not a ton. And if you're Adam Wallen, knowing your accounting score, most likely the mind starts to wander just a little bit.
It can get ahead of you, no doubt about it. You just have to slow things down.
And we've been referencing how difficult the finishing stretch is out of the last 7 holes. There's 7 of the 11 hardest holes on this golf course.
Yeah, once you get by number 11, as short as number 11 is, there's no room for error starting at that 12th tee. See what kind of options he has here. It's a very steep slope, so you know that the grain is into you right there.
But he's an experienced player, Adam Wallen, the senior from Sweden, played in 11 events this year, a couple of top 10s. He's won 2 times in his collegiate career at Ohio State, and last year in the amateur championship lost to Christo Lamprecht in the round of 16. Christo would go on to win it. So maybe we don't talk about him a lot. It might be Neil Shipley or Maxwell Moldovan getting a lot of the headlines for the Buckeyes, but you referenced at the top of the show, when you're a head coach and you know maybe your 3 or 4 man is dependable, it can go a long way.
Absolutely. That's gives the rest of the team confidence. And like we said before, the 1s and the 2s know their position. And it's the rest of the team you're looking for consistency. You want everybody on that team to battle for their score to be a counting score.
And Burko, that's exactly what we saw with Stanford winning in the women's side last week. Just deep.
Yeah, that's safety first right there for Adam. Give yourself a chance. Made a double back there at the 9th hole. Don't need to make another double.
Speaking of Stanford, this is the 3rd shot for Carl Phillips at the par 5 18th, his 9th hole of the day.
Trying to run it up that slope. Yeah, I'm not going to get up there. The grass is growing into you, a lot of grain, and now that is not an easy pitch going up that slope.
Phillips trying to chase down Hiroshi Tai, who sits atop the leaderboard in the individual with a national championship on the line today.
Gordon Sargent in the mix. He's 3 back, getting ready for a second at 9.
Well, laid well back with that 3, with 141 on the way there. Little breeze into his face. Holes in that back left.
Yeah, not much around this whole location here, Billy Ray. He's going to use that little slope. He got a little fortunate. Now he's got another good look for birdie.
Yeah, he's played the first 11 holes this week in 7 under par. Let's head over to 11. Wallen trying to minimize the damage.
Needs this one to go.
So a double bogey this week for Wallen. To that point, before this hole, 8 birdies and just 1 bogey on the back 9. Now the double, so he's one of the few, John, that's been sort of able to navigate this challenging inward half. And again, we keep reiterating it because it's going to pop up and get a lot of people.
No doubt about it.
Well, back at 9, Ben James, second from the rough.
Awkward lie, ball sitting down, ball below his feet.
Just has to land something on the front there, Billy Ray. Run it back. Caught a heater, and that's off the back of the green. That on the going to be pitching up a slope. Won't be able to see the green surface.
Nelly Korda continues her historic run. She's going to have to earn this golf championship against the greatest. The U.S. Women's Open, presented by Ally, begins this Thursday, May 30th on USA, NBC, and Peacock. Go, Nelly, go. Phillips now for his par at 18. And that was an adventure for Carl Phillips, but winds up shooting one over on the back nine. Now he'll head to the more gettable front nine as Phillips finds himself 5 off the lead. Take you back over to the 9th.
Ben James getting ready to go for his third from over the green, and the Cavaliers, John, gonna make it to match play for the second straight year, and it's more than just Ben James, even though he's one of the best players in the country.
And that's what the consistency of an entire golf team. That's what the coaches are looking for. That's what they were charting out all season. You know, who are my 4 and 5 guys, and what can they do? What can they show?
Yeah, it's going to be the second straight trip to match play after the Cavaliers didn't even make it to the NCAAs from 2018 to 2022. So it shows you a change in culture. You grab a player here or there, Billy Ray, and the whole dynamic changes.
No doubt. That was an early call by you back in the fall that you picked the Cavaliers making it all the way to match play. Great call there. Now James is going to have to reach into his bag of tricks here. The ball's sitting down. There is plenty of that Bermuda rub, John, just behind this ball. Some of that grass is going to get caught between the club face and the ball. Try to minimize that.
Yeah, and these surfaces are pretty new here, Billy Ray, so they're a little inconsistent.
And really used that leading edge nicely there.
He did, kept those hands forward. Gonna have a little work left. It was pretty well done. Unfortunate with that tee shot, finding going through the fairway just in the rough.
Make her way over to 11. That's the whole location on the green here at the short par 4. Now back to the fairway with Vanderbilt's William Mall getting ready to play. Vandy currently 4th as a team at 6 over.
We saw this whole location in that back center and how firm it is. Have to really control your spin.
And the Commodore is much more than Gordon Sargent. You look at Mall, a grad student from Houston, Texas, 5 top 10s, won the regional. The first time in the history of the program a Commodore ever won top billing at a regional. Now back at the 9th, Herondine from just off the back of the green.
Yeah, he also put his tee shot in the rough, but able to hold the green, unlike we saw Ben James do. Now he's got about 4 feet of fairway to go through here, Cookie. Back into the green. This ball possibly can bounce. Take a little bit of the speed off this.
Yeah, be into the grain the first 4 feet and then down the slope.
Just a little bobble.
Just hung on the right. Good effort.
That looked good for a long time. I thought it had a chance, Cookie.
Yeah, it did.
Burko, you were talking about the team. 6 of the 8 that made it to match play made it here to Carlsbad. And, you know, if the defending national champion Florida Gators get something going, we could have all 6 teams back from last year's match play. 6 of the 8 back again this year.
Yeah, Pepperdine didn't qualify for a regional. Arizona State, shockingly, as the 3rd-ranked team in the country, didn't get through regional. So it shows you the depth in college golf in 2024. But a big putt here for Gordon Sargent to get within 2.
Yeah, another good look here coming off the birdie at the par 3-8. Slightly back down the slope.
Should work a little to the right, but not that much.
Course sets up for Gordon. Talking to Scott Limbaugh, as high as he hits it and as firm as these greens are, he sort of gave me that look of this is ideal for Gordon Sargent.
He can air it out, and he's a flusher of the golf ball.
2 under, 34 going out.
Yeah, we talked about maybe getting those teams back in match play. You take a look at championship appearances in a row. Texas, 17 straight years. They're the host institution here in Carlsbad, California. Oklahoma won the national championship in 2017. 13 straight years. Vanderbilt, 10 consecutive years. And North Carolina has made it the last 7.
Ben James here on the green trying to save par at 9.
Yeah, he's got this ball played out just outside the right here.
Yeah, it won't break that much. These greens are very new, but we are close to the coast. So there is a little bit of an influence going that direction. Not if they were Poana greens would be a lot different, but there's just enough influence that was going to stay to the right.
And John, and to your point, that's exactly what happened with that putt.
Yeah, just you got to know where that ocean is. It's got some pull.
Now the individual leader, Hiroshi Tai, getting ready to play his third shot at the par 5/6.
Yeah, actually, Bob and John, he drove it way to the left in the deep fescue over there. We were fortunate to find it, but man, he has hit it all the way up here, and he's only got 124 in. He hit a great shot to get it to here. Now this shot placed uphill, probably a half a club or a club. You just got to avoid missing it to the right, just a small area.
Yeah, and it is only 2 steps from that
Yes.
slope on the right there, Jim. So this has to be left of the flag or a little bit long.
And the wind's actually kind of, I don't know, there's a ton of wind, but it's kind of come back a little bit more in their face, more of a crosswind, which it should have been more helping. But like I said, just 124.
The 6th, which is played as one of the easiest holes throughout the course of the week. Tai has not birdied the 6th once this week.
And he's played the par 5s well. That's surprising. This is on a pretty good line if it's the right club.
And it is right there. Couldn't draw it up any better than that, Jim.
Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech will have that putt for birdie to stretch his lead. The individual title hanging in the balance on this Memorial Day Monday from Omni La Costa Resort and Spa.
Back at the 9th, Aiden Tran for Georgia Tech, the sophomore from Fresno, California. Georgia Tech finishing up on the front 9. Tran is a counting score. Georgia Tech 7th as a team. And Tran has been in the lineup the last 3 days because Christo Lamprecht's back has tightened up. Hasn't been able to go. Lamprecht, the top-ranked amateur in the world. And if you're telling me Georgia Tech's moving on, John, to match play with this guy, unable to go the last 3 days, arguably one of the best, if not the best, collegiate golfer, ACC Player of the Year. Remember him from the Open Championship last summer. He's your horse.
Absolutely. I wouldn't take that bet if the Georgia Tech getting in the match play without Christo.
Green at 11, Jackson Buchanan from Illinois. This for birdie. And, oh.
That was rude.
Early walk there.
Yeah, that early walk never goes in.
And it'll be interesting to monitor Lamprecht if the Yellow Jackets see this through. Can he go tomorrow? Or, maybe in the morning you hope to win. It's sort of been a trial by error each and every day on the range to see what the back's feeling like.
Yeah, it's just a shame to have Christo come up little back spasms like that. It's no fun.
Over at the 8th, Carson Kim of Georgia Tech playing his second shot. Kim, a freshman from here in California, business administration major.
Over the back of the green. Now this does play downhill. Is on the upslopes, that will help.
Kim is 1 under today, obviously a counting score. Georgia Tech currently sitting in the 7th spot as a team. This is the 17th hole for Kim today.
Yeah. See if he wants to use some loft to slow this down, or if he's going to go in a little bit lower. Looks like he's got that face wide open. Now you got to keep your body going, got to keep some speed. Flip that right hand under. It's not comfortable with this at all. Whatever you do, you've got to be committed. Now he's got it back in his stance, and face is not so open. That needs to slow down.
Or go in.
Or go in.
That's huge.
Does that go a long way? That's could have been a 2-shot swing right there.
Nice.
Thank you.
Before the day starts, we do this with the women's and the men's. We like to ask our resident handicapper, Steve Burkowski, what do you think the number is going to be? He nailed it last week. And Burko, we kind of talked about You like plus 25 to get you in.
I think 25 will be the number for the final spot.
Wallen.
You heard it here.
For bogey at the 12th. So he's made double at the 9th, birdied the 10th, a double at 11, and just falling apart here with the individual title.
And he's still a counting score, so that he's got to right the ship for the Buckeyes to get in.
Tai for his birdie at the 6th. John hit that putt this morning, and it looks like it has to fall to the right, but it stays.
It does stay right there. These greens are brand new. They're not quite settled in, so have to get used to.
Now over at 9, Tran for par, and a nice pitch, though. Again, to help the Yellow Jackets' cause to try to make it to match play.
Yeah, he was long and left, and that's a nice up and down.
And you think about the Yellow Jackets last year, all the way to that championship match before falling to the Gators. Will they have a return trip? We will find out over the course of the next couple of hours.
So glad you can join us on this Memorial Day. So Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech is bogey free today. He's 4 under, which has him at 6 under, which has him with just a 2-shot lead over Ben James and Gordon Sargent, with the national championship for the individual on the line on this Monday here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Take a look at the team leaderboard. You go to Florida State, they're safe. They're going to make it to match play. Auburn is starting to rally a little bit as they make the turn. They're the #1 team in the country. They're currently at plus 21. Ohio State is 9 over today, and the Buckeyes in a bit of a free fall. Oklahoma 2 under on their round today as they are playing the difficult back 9. And Florida, the defending national champs, 6 over today. They're on the outside looking in, but again, 5 players out, 4 count. A lot of things can flip in a hurry. Take you over to the 10th, and Van Paris playing his 3rd shot out of the right rough.
Yeah, drove it in the rough, had no go for the green, now laid the ball up into the rough, back left hole location.
And that's going to kick to that back part of the green.
That's what he
It's
saw.
such a sliver of area that you can land it on. It's got to be more of a direct line at the flag.
Be putting across the green up that little slope. We saw Adam Wallen not too long ago make a nice 2-putt from there.
Well, the NCAA 90 Division I championships. For more information, visit NCAA Golf Championships. Go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 of those championships. Our first year, first of 3 at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, 9th straight year. The same venue has hosted both the men's and women's. This is the 15th straight year of match play for the men's. Here in Carlsbad, California, the University of Texas, the host institution. Over $25 million in renovations to Omni La Costa Resort and Spa as we take you over to the difficult par 4 15th.
Austin Greaser, 5th-year player for North Carolina. Tar Heels, boy, they're getting the job done today. 9 under as a team. Best score on the golf course. And they were with Auburn. John starting the day at 15 over in a good spot, but you never know. And boy, the Tar Heels came out firing on the front 9 and have maintained a fair bit of momentum coming down the stretch here. Still holes to go, but when you look at this team, couple of 5th-year seniors, the Ford twins, Peter Fountain, a senior, they're built to win now. You can make the same argument for Vanderbilt. It's kind of bust or nothing, from my perspective.
Yeah, we saw that at the East Lake Cup. The Coach DiBattista, he was very excited about this team with all the experience, and they have played like one of the top teams this season. and they've battled in. Looks like they're going to be getting into the match play. But Austin got a little bit aggressive with that putt.
Yeah, talking with Coach DiBattista this morning, you know, kind of stay in your lane. Focus on us. It's so easy to get caught up with people talking to you. What do you need to do today? Keep it simple. So easy to say, difficult to do, considering the challenges that a lot of these teams face, like Oklahoma here on 16, Bob. I mean, they're going to finish up earlier than the Chasers, and how can they play these last couple of holes and see what the Sooners post?
Popular spot right here on the 16th, back of the green.
Yeah, I mean, John, this is the smart shot, right? I mean, you got to play it to here and then take your chances. As
yeah, no doubt about it, because this green is firm. It does slope a little bit away from you. Jay Summey here has got this putt from the back part of the green. Again, look at Oklahoma right now. They're in the 9th spot at plus 23. Florida's at plus 26. Tennessee is at plus 27. They're all within striking distance of currently number 8 Ohio State, that's at plus 22. This putt here goes slightly uphill. Might try to fall to the right just a little bit. It's on a nice line, just not quite enough speed, but safely in. Well, will be safely in, hopefully. 17, if you hit a good tee shot, can be a birdie hole. 18's a par 5, but we've seen good, bad, and ugly on that hole so far, with that hole location in that back part of the green.
Jay Summey is a counting score. He's even today. Luke Kluver is the non-counting score for Oklahoma at plus 6. Now at 18, Oklahoma's Ryder Cowan playing his 4th shot at the par 5 18th.
Yeah, and then we can see
and that's going to go off the green.
Yeah, we can see the danger here. If you get out of position at the 18th, it's so shallow back there in that section, Bob. We were out there. We spent a ton of time out there today.
And Cowan is a counting score.
Correct.
Just birdied 17. And in danger of giving a couple back as we watch Christian Moss from Texas, the sophomore, his second here at the long par 4.
That coming out of the rough, ball a little bit below his feet. That was from 221 yards, that whole location, all the way back, and that's got to get down.
Yeah, that's pretty speedy back there. It'll get down into that rough. It won't go all the way down. If that was shaved, that would have gone 30 yards off the green. But pitching on an upslope and back into the wind.
Now Hiroshi Tai, this does not look good.
No, because it's kind of a wispy lie, but as he comes down through it, that's where the grass could grab it and go low. It's a 200-yard shot. He's just trying to get it back on the grass. He does not want it in that front bunker with that whole location back.
Nice shot.
And he's done just that. That's a pretty good play right there. That's about all he had from there.
Yeah, he'll have a long pitch shot, but back in position. You can see what happens. These are fairly wide fairways from side to side, but if you miss, that's what you get. It's all about the contact, trying to drive it low, keep it under those tree limbs, let that ball run out.
Again, for Oklahoma, Ryder Cowan is a counting score. This is his 5th shot at the par 5 18th.
And we have seen all kinds of things happen from down there. There's a little bit of a slope that'll help it. That is pretty well done.
So he's going to have that for bogey. Again, Oklahoma and Ohio State tied right now for that 8th spot. Florida's only 3 shots out in the race for the top 8, advancing to match play.
And we are back at the 7th final day of stroke play here at the NCAA Division I Championships. Hiroshi Tai trying to save par, and he has not made a bogey since the 16th hole in the 2nd round on Saturday. That's how good he's been.
He's going to have to do something special not to make one here, but he's got it where he's got a chance to do it. It's about a 120-foot shot. He's got to carry it on. There is a slope about halfway there, and it will kick it to the right. But he's going with a lot of loft here, John. I thought he might take maybe a pitching wedge.
Yeah, exactly. These kids nowadays pitch with a lot of loft. They've got a lot of different shots that they like to play. I think in our day, Jim, this would be like a pitching wedge. If you had a gap wedge, maybe a gap wedge. But they play all kinds of shots now with a lot of loft.
And the lofts are a little stronger as well.
He had to guard against going over that green as well, so leaving about 10 feet now for par.
Gordon Sargent over at 10, the reachable par 5.
And coming off the downslope, 238 yards, cannot miss left here. Holds place on that left-hand side. Pretty decent line here.
Takes a big bounce and kicks left, down in the left-hand side, but out of the bunker. That'll be interesting. Doesn't have a lot of green to work with, but we'll be pitching from an upslope into the wind.
Now back to the 7th, Moss from over the green.
Yeah, it's just in that rough, which is it's doable.
Club face wide open, and he's just laid the sod over it. Stopped his body there, Jim.
Sure did. That was a lot easier shot than that.
Billy Ray, Ben James of Virginia playing his third.
Yeah, long third shot here from 183. Drove it left in that native area and hit a fantastic shot just to get it back in the fairway.
Yeah, this is where patience and discipline come in right here, Billy Ray. You start shooting at this flag.
Oh my, and that will come back in the bunker, I believe, John.
Yeah, we can't see from that angle, but
it did come back in the bunker, John. Just came up short, just a little gust of wind, but that was something he was looking for. That patience was not in his game plan right there. He was being very aggressive.
4th at the 7th for Moss, so looks like he'll minimize the damage to just a bogey, John.
Yeah, the mistake, going over that green, and just not a good effort at that third shot, the pitch shot.
This is a big putt here for Oklahoma, and Cowan's bogey putt spins out.
Costly double bogey there for the Sooners. A counting score, making double at the last. Yeah, aggravation. You don't think these kids don't want it? This is why you go. This is why you go to school.
So now Oklahoma is tied with Florida for 9th. Tennessee is a shot back at 11.
Now back to the green at 7. Hiroshi Tai trying to save par and hang on to that 2-shot lead.
Yeah, and to make sure the team gets in there as well. It's always the mindset. Are you playing as an individual or are you playing as a team? But I think for him, he's just trying to play it and trying to make this par be a great save, though.
Good save.
It's been solid most of the week. Take out that second round. He's been tough to beat.
Just those last 5 holes of his second round. Other than that, he has been money.
So Hiroshi Tai, 6 under, 2 holes to go. And John, you go par, you sit in the clubhouse and see if anyone can catch you.
Yeah, and everybody else finishing on the backside. Probably feel pretty good about your chances.
Well, Tai is at 6 under. Ben James and Gordon Sargent, playing the 10th now, are each 2 shots back, and that is the ball of Ben James. That was his 3rd shot, so he's going to have to try to get this up and down to save his par.
And just waiting, Bob, for the tee to clear adjacent to 11.
While we wait there, we go to the green at 13. Luke Clanton from Florida State. This for birdie. Seminoles in the 5th position as a team, and Clanton went on a run this spring, made that, and won 3 straight events. There's a reason he's one of the very best in the college game.
Again, he's within 3 of the lead. As we take you back over to 10, and the 4th shot for Ben James.
Cookie doesn't get much easier in this. This ball's on the upslope, perfect line. Pitching back up into the slope. He can be very aggressive with his bunker shot.
Yeah, it's tough to put a lot of spin on these bunker shots, being new sand, pretty fluffy, and he caught more ball than he wanted to right there.
That is dangerous right there. Where that ball has come to rest, that is going to be a brutal putt. Just 2 putts from that section there. Mistake there by James.
And when we talked with David Smallwood, the director of agronomy, and we asked him about the bunkers, and he said they started putting sand in the bunkers at 12 back in March, and ensuingly they have. And he said they're fluffy. He said there's nothing you can do. We packed them as best we could, but we need Mother Nature to let these bunkers settle. Now Sargent playing his 3rd.
Part of his game there, Billy Ray, that's really improved. He's as good as he is, but that part of his game was not very good for a while. That was an excellent pitch shot.
He made that look very easy. Love that technique with the big swing. He just kind of lays the club face on the ball.
Yep, kept that speed up, kept that right hand underneath, flipped that ball up in the air. Really well done.
When Sargent won the individual title at Greyhawk in 2022, shot even par, beat Parker Cootie, Ryan Burnett, and Eugenio Chikara with a birdie on the first hole to win the individual championship. Max Herendeen of Illinois has this putt for eagle.
Well, it's quite a lot to navigate here, coming up the slope. Comes over the slope, then it'll turn back left, but once it clears that, then it'll pick up speed.
Should get down that hill, but it doesn't. It does go back kind of away from the ocean, so the kind of pull was into him there for a little bit.
Over at 15, Neil Shipley, Ohio State, 5th-year player, 2nd on the way. And the Buckeyes could use somebody to step up.
Could use a couple birdies coming down the stretch, but that whole location right there is, if you're right, it goes down that slope, left goes down the other slope. He'll be putting uphill.
Ben James is away. He'll have this putt for par. So he's got to go over that ridge, Billy Ray, and this is not what he was looking for, to try to save his par, and wants to stay 2 back for the individual.
Well, he's got some holes to play. This is not the putt where you try to force it and make it, even though it's coming back downhill and the greens are not overly fast. Get your 2-putt out of here. Don't try to force the issue and then move on.
Yeah, that needs to slow down.
He's going to have some work now just for his bogey. Sometimes you just got to not compound one mistake with another.
Yeah, you get out of position on this golf course. It's wide enough. It gives you freedom in an area to drive the ball. But if you miss, you got to take your medicine.
This will be James' first bogey on a par 5 this week, and now Herendeen for his birdie at the 10th.
Yeah, this is a good, John. I got to say, almost 12 feet now left for his birdie, and it will definitely move back to his left.
That it will. I mean, it will. It's pretty straight to start, but once it starts breaking, it'll break pretty good.
You know, being new greens, you know, they just look a little bit faster on what they actually are, and it's tough for a player to make that adjustment on the fly, especially given the pressure situations they're in right now.
Yeah, I needed to keep the pace up with that line. Disappointing 3-putt par.
Just a moment ago, over at 18, Evan Woosley Reed of Tennessee, par 5 18th, his 3rd shot, and it's going to come off that slope.
How about it?
And how about that for eagle?
That certainly helps the cause for Tennessee.
A final round 73, so he is a counting score by making that eagle. And now James for bogey at the 10th. And when you think about the holes coming in, John, this is one hole that you cannot be making a bogey on. They have the drivable par 4 11th, and then it gets hard the rest of the way.
It is all quality golf from there. I mean, once you hit that 12th tee, You better be ready.
Sargent to pull within one of the lead for the individual.
Not much to this. Does go slightly uphill. Got to keep some speed up or it might fall off to the right just a little. Pulled it right from the get-go.
Well, you think about the miss he had at the par 5 sixth, and now a makeable birdie putt at the par 5 10th. What this round could have been for Gordon Sargent.
And that was, you know, almost the same distance that he missed back at the 6th, Bob.
Trying to join Ben Crenshaw and Phil Mickelson as the only men to win multiple individual titles. Gentle Ben won 3 in a row. Mickelson won 3 in 4 years. So Sargent settles for par at the 10th. Now we take you over to the 8th, the 17th hole for Hiroshi Tai, who right now sits atop the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's about 200 yards. He's going to play for about a 15-20 yard bounce.
And it buries in the bunker.
Yeah,
Wow.
Came up well short there, Jim. That he missed his mark by a good 10 yards.
He did it on the last par 3 as well.
And the question is, does it stay in its pitch mark or did it hop out? It stayed right in there, so that makes that shot even more difficult for Hiroshi Tai, who's bogey free today.
He does have a lot of room between the bunker and the hole location, so that might help him, but that's going to be very difficult.
Christian Moss of Texas will follow it with Top Tracer technology presented by AT&T.
This one got way up in the air, and that comes up short. The wind might be just knocking those balls down.
Christian Moss accounting score for Texas. They are on the outside looking in. The host university for the women's and men's NCAA championships. They're currently at +30, but Hiroshi Tai is in trouble at the par 3/8, maintaining a 2-shot lead over Gordon Sargent. This is Tai's second shot at the 8th.
Awkward stance here too. This was
knocks that.
This was touch 'em all
over the green. He's played 8 and 9 even for the week. Now over at 18, Drew Goodman of Oklahoma misses the birdie putt. Oklahoma is just not helping their cause here at the 18th.
Now we go over to 15. Neil Shipley, Ohio State, long birdie opportunity.
tugged his wedge shot. Now this goes up the hill and will move slightly left to right once it gets up there.
Did he hit it?
Hit it.
He did.
That helps. That helps big time. I'm not going to root for him too hard, but I am.
You're entitled. Heck of a 3 there by Neil Shipley. All right, let's go over to 9. Georgia Tech finishing up on the front side. Bartley Forrester for his par, and that's a big putt there by Forrester.
Huge putt there, Steve, for Bartley.
Yeah, only player to play in every single event for the Yellow Jackets this year. His uncle Carlton played in the late 90s for Georgia Tech.
I bet he was tall too. It's the all-tall team there at Georgia Tech.
Look at that race for 8. Buckeyes, Gators, 23 over, barring something heroic, Bob. Oklahoma gonna look at that 18th and think what might have been.
Absolutely. We've seen them miss a couple opportunities here coming down the stretch. I mean, Drew Goodman missing that birdie putt. Ryder Cowan making double, and now over at the par 3/8. This is now the 3rd shot for our leader, Hiroshi Tai.
Yeah,
individual title on the line today. This is his 17th hole.
Yeah, Coach Hepler came over and had him look to the right, because if the ground's so hard, he can't really go at the hole location. He's just trying to avoid nothing more than maybe he could somehow make a bogey, but double at the worst.
There's been 4 doubles made on this hole already today. Jim, fourth hardest hole in the golf course.
And that goes back into the bunker. So Hiroshi Tai, who had a fairly easy time at the 8th and 9th hole this week, combined he's played it even, making a mess of the 8th. Now over at the 11th, Ben James has driver out.
287 at the front of the green, 308 total back into the breeze. A really small target here at the 11th.
Yeah, this is tugged to the left. That actually is okay. He's going to be pitching uphill. That's actually a great leave.
You know, a more direct line, it might have hit the green and gone over.
And that would have been trouble.
This is Tai's fourth shot at the par 3 8th. Again, he has the lead in the individual.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it affects the team as well.
No doubt about it there, Jim. They're in a battle for that 8th spot. Now that's going to be for double. Wow.
So to Jim's point, let's say he two putts from there. Georgia Tech goes from 22 over to 25 over, and at the current moment, outside the top 8.
That's how fast this can change. So many moving parts in this format. Gotta love that.
We love it. I don't know about the coaches and players as we head over to 14.
Luke Clanton has this putt for par at 14. Florida State, I mean, right now, Illinois, Virginia, Vanderbilt, North Carolina, Florida State, and Auburn are most likely going to be in. Clanton has this putt for par, but with the trouble that Tai's having over at the 8th, this is a big putt for Luke.
Too high, maybe just a touch too firm.
So he's going to drop back to 2 under. And from this moment, he's 4 off the lead, but not for long. Adam Wallen started this day with a 2-shot lead for the individual title. He's 4 over on his round today. He's made 3 doubles. Has this for par at 14.
Big putt here for Adam and the Ohio State Buckeyes. This does go to the left. Even with the ocean to the right, there's so much slope on that part of the green, Bob. This definitely goes to the left. Good par.
And still accounting scored 4 over because Tyler Sabo 5 over. Now the drop score, at least at the moment, for the Buckeyes.
Well, you got to kind of hang on at 15, hang on at 16, and then there's opportunities at 17 and 18. Christian Moss of Texas over at the 8th. Again, Texas as a team is on the outside looking in. Moss, for the moment, is 5 off the lead, but he knows the guy he's playing with is making a mess of this 8th hole.
He had a great shot to get it to here. His ball was really buried. This would be a great save.
Yeah, it doesn't move much right.
Texas won the national championship 2 years ago. Gordon Sargent playing his 2nd at 11.
Yeah, just short of the green options here, John.
Just depending on what you want to do with it, but you don't want to do that.
It's going to come back, isn't it?
It is going to wander back a little bit. Stayed up there on that. I don't think the catch was real good there, Steve.
Hiroshi Tai making a mess of the par 3 8th. This is for double. So he's going to have that for triple bogey at the par 3 8th. He's played the last 36 holes 6 under, and now he's going to make a triple at the 8th and fall out of the lead for the individual. And again, he's accounting score for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech currently sits in the 7th spot. but not for long. Back over to 11.
Ben James, his second.
This is the perfect spot to pitch from, even though it's out of the rough. Used a well-lofted club and got the ball on the ground quickly.
Yeah, pretty well done there, Billy Ray. Got about 4 feet for birdie.
So a triple bogey for Hiroshi Tai on his second to last hole, the par 3 18th. Now he is 1 behind the lead of Gordon Sargent, who does have a birdie putt coming up at 11. Sargent 2 under on his round today. How about Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame? 3 under today, climbing up the leaderboard. An individual title is on the line as Gordon Sargent of Vanderbilt tries to win his second individual title. Plus the race is on for the top 8 spots advancing to match play. All unfolding from Carlsbad, California and the Division I Men's Golf Championships.
This was Gordon Sargent for birdie. Try to get the 5 under.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself. He's wasted some opportunities. I mean, he does have the lead, but what could have been? Missed there at 6. Missed there at 10. Drove it right in front of the green at 11.
Yeah, again, that was while we were away. Now live with Ben James to tie Sargent at 4 under.
Would love to convert this after that terrific tee shot.
Got some short misses going on out there.
Speaking of James Sargent, they have left a couple here on this inward half for sure.
Parker Bell, Florida Gator. Florida's finishing up on the front side. This a long one at the 7th.
It's going to wander off to the right. There's a little bit of slope up there with good speed, but wide right.
Yeah, Matthew Crest currently the non-counting score for the Gators. So Bell and Turner and Dubois and Gilligan work to do. Now at 15, Jackson Chandler.
This has some pretty good break from right to left.
Buckeyes, couple of birdies there at 15.
Yeah, Jackson got off to a bad start today, and he's battled his way back.
And you say it time and time again. Grind it out, especially the back half of that lineup. You don't know how it's going to play out. So a little breathing room for Ohio State, but still the difficult finishing stretch. Florida right now, last team in, finishing up on the front side. So too is Georgia Tech, and Oklahoma opportunities that just have gone awry as we head to 12.
239 yards for this par 3. There have been no birdies at the 12th today.
Well, that was a 4 in there for Gordon Sargent. Little breeze back in their player's face.
Way to the right, and that is going to be all kinds of difficulty.
That is a spot you cannot miss it in. Short side yourself, and there's a huge undulation on that right-hand side.
Oklahoma certainly needs a Ben Lorenz birdie here at 18. And he pours that in. He shoots 73. But that helps the team cause for Oklahoma. They're teetering right now on that line. I got to give a shout out. This hole is played so difficult for both the men and the women each of the last 2 weeks. How about Texas Tech's Caleb Scott yesterday with a 5-iron made an ace. According to Bushnell, 239 yards to the hole, 219 to the front.
5-iron making that ace. Now watch this. This should chase back a little bit. That's really well done.
Hey, John, do you have that in your bag, the 5-iron? From that distance to make an ace?
And a throw. Yeah,
and a throw.
Give me a 100-yard throw.
We found that out yesterday. It was amazing.
Right, Billy Ray, we were out there yesterday, right, when we were talking with a bunch of the coaches, and with the whole location where it was yesterday, they were instructing their players to lay it up short right of the green at 12 and to make par.
That
sounds
just
like
shows you
Caleb just said,
No, not today.
Not today, Coach.
It just shows you a great example of how drastic it is when you miss the green here. It's such a long hole with the fall-off areas on right and left, but that was a game plan.
Yeah, anything on the green, it's got to be going left.
And
yeah, wide
that
side.
is left.
Yeah, wide side, not horrible. Much better position than Gordon Sargent.
Yeah, it nestled down in that deep Bermuda rough to the left, so it's going to be total guesswork there.
Over at 15, Luke Clanton, his second. He's 2 under, just 2 back.
Let's see what he can do with that whole location. Really well done. Excellent to get it in that little section right there.
By far the best we have seen here today at 15. That could get Clanton to 3 under. With Sargent in trouble, could be tied at the top in the coming moments. We'll find out as it all continues to play out on this Monday in California. Moment ago at 9, Hiroshi Tai 1 off the lead, coming off triple bogey at the 8th. Not where you want to be, John.
Not at all. There's new sand in these bunkers, so there's a little unstable, and you got to keep that body stable, and he just did not do that. Total chunk out of there.
So his chances individually dwindling, not helping the team either, Jim, as we watch his 3rd live.
No, and there's anything, you got to put everything that's gone in the past, and that's very difficult because everything speeds up, as John knows, in your mind. But he's got about 45 to carry that bunker, looking like a 65-yard shot back into the wind. But he's got to get this up and down.
Yeah, for any chance of Georgia Tech to get in, this has to be an up and down. As they're sitting on plus 25 right now, 2 shots out.
Heck of a shot.
Really well done.
So Ty will have a chance to save par, post 3 under for the week, and then sit and wait to see what Gordon Sargent and others do.
Yeah, and he's got some work here at the 12th, Billy Ray.
This is a very difficult shot. Terrible lie. He's got to get it up high and soft. It's not going to do it.
And now it's going to go back down in that collection area where a lot of players have played from, so it's a little unstable down there. It's into the grain, a little bit sandy.
And now it opens the door for players like Luke Clanton, who 20-30 minutes ago was 4 shots off the lead. This now to get to 3 under and perhaps moments away from having a share of that top spot.
Yeah, hit a terrific little pitch shot in here. Got it in the proper section. Just a couple of feet, not much to it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, he had a putt on the either last hole or a couple holes ago, very similar to that, just dead pull.
Then James missed his tee shot left at 12, so this is his second.
Yeah, got it on the wide side though there, Bob, so he just pitched it into that slope, let it run down that hill. Terrific play there for Ben.
So he's going to have that for par to stay at 3 under.
Clanton has this for par to stay at 2 under.
Yeah, he's going to look back at a couple real short putts that he missed for birdie.
Patience, the word we've heard for the last 2 weeks here,
it's
John.
so difficult to stay patient like this.
Sargent now his 3rd shot at the par 3 12th.
And this is no bargain coming off a really tight line.
That took a look there, Billy Ray. Did go by a couple feet, but good effort. Just missed his tee shot in the wrong spot. Yep. It's all about the contact, like you said.
Let's take you over to 8. Josiah Gilbert on the tee. Top Tracer Technology presented by AT&T. Auburn, #1 team in the country coming in. They're currently in the 6th spot right now.
200 yards.
Oh, it just catches that upslope, and it went from being buried in the bunker to, hey, good look at birdie.
Exactly.
Max Herendeen will be first for par. He's at 1 under. And, you know, if he can make this, Sargent's going to make bogey. So he would only be within 2 of the lead.
Yeah, he's not out of it. You know, he hit a wonderful tee shot there and just took an aggressive run at it for his birdie. Now, this is back up the hill, right center at the most. You can't get it outside the hole.
Yeah, keep your speed up, too, because you're going away from the ocean. Good putt, right in the center.
It was funny talking to Max coming up here. He said the par 3s here at La Costa are just diabolical.
over at 9. An enormous par putt for Hiroshi Tai.
Yeah, shouldn't be a whole lot in this, but see if he can kind of get his composure back here. He had a wonderful third shot, I can tell you that.
Good little battle right there, Jim.
He gets in at
you know,
3
you gotta
under.
do it.
Yeah, and helps the cause of the Yellow Jackets to hang around to potentially make match play.
Ben James for his par at the 12th to stay at 3 under.
And boys, he missed some short ones too. Back there at the 11th for birdie. That one right there for par.
Oklahoma is probably not going to make match play, and the 18th hole is going to cost the Sooners. In the counting scores, Ryder Cowan made double. Drew Goodman missed a short birdie putt. Ben Lorenz did make birdie.
Yeah, this will pick up some speed right here. Great effort.
But now they'll finish at 26 over as a team. The Yellow Jackets in at 25 over. So if you're Oklahoma, you would need the Buckeyes and the Gators to come back, which is still possible.
Very possible with the holes that they have to finish on.
And just a miserable 18th hole for Ryan Hybl and his team. Sargent, this will be for just his second bogey since round number 2, and he makes bogey at the 12th. So Sargent in a share of the lead. Hiroshi Tai has posted 3 under. The individual national championship is on the line. Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame also in the mix. He's just a shot back. Despite the woes of Carl Phillips today, he's back in the mix, and so is Adam Wallen of Ohio State, even though he's 4 over and started the day with a 2-shot lead. Meanwhile, the picture starting to take a little bit more shape here with the race for the top 8 and match play unfolding here at La Costa. Take you over to the 8th. Parker Bell of Florida has this putt for par. Florida right now is sitting on the 8th spot.
Yeah, that was going to be a struggle from the start up that slope. Very difficult to hit that hard enough.
Florida, the defending national champions, defeating Georgia Tech in the championship match last year as the 3 seed. Fred Biondi of Florida won the individual. The individual championship is on the line, and things have certainly tightened up. Hiroshi Tai had gotten it to 6 under, made a triple at the 8th, and wound up finishing the day with a 1 under par 71. So he has posted 3 under. Gordon Sargent has missed 3 makeable birdie putts. We just saw Luke Clanton of Florida State make a very makeable birdie putt at 15. And then you take a look at that number. 8 makes it to match play. Georgia Tech has posted plus 25. Oklahoma with a nightmare at the 18th. They're done. The question is, does Florida come back? Does Ohio State come back? Auburn, Florida State, North Carolina, Vanderbilt, Virginia, Illinois. It's now just about seeding for those schools. Let's take you over to the 8th. Carson Baca of Auburn. Baca is a counting score 1 under today.
Yeah. 200 yards, just want to fly at about 185, get it over that. Now that needs to slow down.
Well, the good news, John, there is that this is one of the few holes that's not shaved, so it stayed relatively up.
And he'll be pitching into the wind, so that's not a bad leave right there.
Big shot here, Bob, for Ian Gilligan from Florida, the junior who transferred in from Long Beach State after his first couple of years here in California, and a counting score right now for the Gators.
Yeah, Gilligan is 2 over today. He's a counting score. Their non-counting score right now is Matthew Kress at plus 7. They only have one player under par today.
Well, Florida doesn't know it. If everyone plays these last 2 holes in even par or better, John,
good chance they're in.
Yeah, they wouldn't drop
be in.
past the 24 over mark they currently stand.
Well, I'm sure Coach J.C. Deacon knows that.
Cover. Go!
And Gilligan's a real good player. Won't get up. Oh, just missed his spot. That'll come back in the bunker.
Over at 13, Gordon Sargent second on the way.
Back center hole location. There's a false front right there, and that must have been a mishit because that came up well short and right of his target.
So work to do again for Sargent after missing the green. Ben James one off the pace and perhaps an opportunity.
I think a very good opportunity as it comes back uphill. 175. There is a little breeze from right to left here, Burko, but it does play uphill 3 yards here. Ideally, you'd like to bring this ball in hard from right to left. Yeah, starts it right, trying to draw just a bit here.
Yeah, that's the little false front right there. That'll come back off the green.
Man, I thought he had enough to get up to that false front. I didn't think where the hole location was. I didn't think that was going to come into play. There was just enough wind back into their face here at the 13th where that affected the approach shot.
This over at 7, John Dubois third. Counting score for the Gators. Needs to get up and down. Almost up and in.
Yeah, that was a fortunate leave there just on the back of that green on the upslope. Really good effort there for John.
And you mentioned only one Gator under par. John Dubois 3 under today.
Really nice shot into the difficult par 3 16th. Luke Clanton of Florida State for birdie. John, it looks like it's got to go right to left, but at the end it just feeds to the right.
It does. As it loses speed, it'll go towards the right side of that green.
Clanton just one off the lead, but he got through 15 and 16 with pars. Can make birdie at 17, and with a good tee shot at 18 certainly can. Individual title on the line. Hiroshi Tai in the clubhouse at 3 under. Can Sargent, Clanton, Jackson, Phillips chase him down?
Challenge here for Gordon Sargent, third from the bunker.
Ball sits on the upslope there. A little heavy on the contact.
Little chunk and run, but won't get up that little slope there, Billy Ray. So Gordon
That was
Sargent
not
a little
an
bit
easy
loose.
play there.
A little bit loose on his last couple holes.
Hope you're enjoying coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships, and it is presented by AT&T Omni La Costa Resort and Spa that is in Carlsbad, California, hosting the women and men for the first of 3 consecutive years. And it's been enjoyable, to say the least. I've had a lot of fun as we watch Herrendien's putt on the way at 13.
Pretty slow putt up that slope. A little wide right. There's a little bit of work left for his par.
How about Illinois, by the way? They're leading by 10 on their way to being a #1 seed. As we watch Jackson Chandler from Ohio State at 17. So he's got work to save par. Little bit of wiggle room for Ohio State right now, but we know that can change dramatically.
Giving it a go. Ohio State right now currently in the 7th spot. Maxwell Moldovan accounting score for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, important to know where your leave is here. Whether you can get it all the way back to the hole location, that's doubtful, but you got to put it in a good spot. Trying to get it across that hazard right on the front part of the green. That'll get up there. Should come back a little bit. And that will be rough right there. To get down in 2.
Gordon Sargent for par at 13.
Got to hit it.
That was a difficult read there, John, coming back up that slope.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to go to the right, Billy Ray, but you also have to remember what's to the right.
Back-to-back bogeys. Sargent now 2 under, 1 behind Hiroshi Tai. Let's go over to 9. Parker Bell finishing up for Florida on this front side. A counting score for the Gators.
Whole location in that back left.
Got to be pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
J.C. Deacon, the head coach, it's pretty good.
It is
solid.
pretty good.
Now back at 13, James for his par.
He's missed a couple of these. That one's safely in.
I don't know. I think if I'm Hiroshi Tai, done at 3 under, pretty good.
This putt for par for Ian Gilligan, a counting score for Florida.
Had it in the front bunker. He hit it hard enough. It goes up the hill and into the gravity. Costly bogey there for Ian.
Berko, I was thinking about, you mentioned Hiroshi Tai, who had gotten it to 6 under. And you think about last year at the NCAAs, Georgia Tech's Ross Steelman bogeyed the final 3 holes. Biondi wound up winning by a shot, but Georgia Tech so close 2 years in a row. Now this is over at the par 5 6th, and this is Palmer Jackson, graduate student at Notre Dame. They've never won an individual title. He is right in the mix here, just a shot off the lead, getting ready to play his 3rd shot at the par 5 6th. Best finish was 3rd at the Johnny O at Sea Island. And Jim Gallagher has joined this group as Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame has a chance to win the individual title.
He sure does. A couple different options. I like the option of bouncing it into the fringe because he's got to be so aware of past the hole 2 steps goes off the green. If he tries to land it into the green, he's got to be aggressive to get it there, and it's just a matter of does it skip or will it hold fairly decent. But I like the little bump into the fringe. Get it 5-8 feet. Give yourself a chance for birdie.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jim. There's so much danger a step or 2 past this hole location for him. Got the ball back in his stance, so he's going to play the shot that you just described. Going to bounce it. It's into the green. Nice little check down the slope, and that is excellent.
So he's going to have that to get to 3 under. He's a Murraysville, Pennsylvania native, and as Steve Burkowski shared with us earlier, Palmer, his first name named after Arnold Palmer. Let's go over to 7.
Jackson Koiven, the freshman from Auburn, long range putt for birdie. Tigers currently 6th, comfortably in at the moment, and that will help by Koiven, called by many the best putter in college golf.
Just a freshman.
And oh, by the way, he's just 1 off the lead now.
Oh, by the way.
Hiroshi Tai done 1 under today, 71 in at 3 under par, but a half dozen players a shot back. And we're talking the best of the best. All-America selections giving chase, trying to catch Tai on this Monday. Might we see some bonus golf an hour and change from now? It's a good possibility.
I'd be worried about all the guys that have the little blue arrow because they're all finishing on the front 9.
Palmer Jackson, Carl Phillips, Jackson Koiven as we go to 17 with Clanton, his 2nd from the bunker. He's 1 back.
Awkward right here. Got to get it up enough loft to get it over the lip and enough club to get it to the green. That's pretty well done. Might come off the front part of the green. All in all, pretty good shot.
Berger, we've talked about Gordon Sargent, some of those short miss birdie putts. If you think of Luke Clanton and the misses at 15 and 16, take you back over to 9.
Big opportunity for Parker Bell, counting score for the Florida Gators. His last hole, this for birdie.
Yeah, will break to his left. Not quite that much, but good effort.
So it's going to be a round of 5 over, 77 for Parker Bell, but a counter is Matthew Kress in with 79. Will the Gators have enough to make it back to match play? We'll find out when we come back.
Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame for birdie at the 6th. And this for a share of the lead for the individual. Notre Dame won the lacrosse NCAA championship today. Could they add their first ever individual men's golf championship? Palmer Jackson in a share of the lead, over to 7.
Andrew Swanson from Clemson playing this final round of stroke play as an individual. His second shot on the way. Heck of a shot there by Swanson. He'll have that for birdie, and the young man gets the job done in the classroom as the Elite 90 is presented to the student athlete with the highest cumulative grade point average participating at the finals site for each of the NCAA's 90 championships. The winner this year, Andrew Swanson, the junior from Bluffton, South Carolina. Perfect 4.0 in mathematical sciences. All right, let's go over to Clanton. Long look at birdie here. 17th hole to get a share of the lead.
Out of the lead, a couple short misses too.
Big second shot here for Ian Gilligan at 9. Counting score for the Gators. They've got work to do.
See if he can get it back to this left hole location.
So we thought finishing on this front side for Florida perhaps could provide an opportunity.
Dubois' accounting score has this putt for birdie at the 8th.
Yeah, long range here, Bob. Goes up a slope and then down the backside, moving to the right.
His 17th hole of the day. 2 under on his round today. Right now, Florida's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it was pretty well done. They really needed that one to go down, though.
Now over at 18. Ohio State, Maxwell Moldovan has this putt for birdie. Ohio State, 32nd in the nation, currently holding on to the 7th spot.
This putt goes uphill, and we saw his second shot off the right part of the green. And Bob, you and I were out there quite a while trying to hit that putt or that pitch, and it was going to be difficult. Now this is a slow putt going up the slope. Had it in the center.
Right, it's almost like you have to not take the highest line and cut it in half, because it actually comes back to the right, coming back downhill. Winds up making par.
Now over to his teammate, Adam Wallen. Birdie putt at 17.
Yeah, down the slope, moving left to right. That's going to catch that edge and just creases that edge. Boy, they'd have loved to have that one. That would have got him one closer.
Plus, it would have got him closer in the individual, Burko.
Exactly.
Right now, though, I think he wants to make sure the Buckeyes can get the match play. He heads to 18, a couple shots back, 2 tied at the top individually. Palmer Jackson, 3 holes to go. Can he get the 4 under or better? We'll find out when we come back. Still a lot to be determined as this man, Palmer Jackson from Notre Dame, 4 under on the day, tied for the lead and getting ready at 7.
Yeah, 228 is total. He's looking to land it just on the green, which is just over 200 yards. When the group that I was with earlier, Mike McGraw, said they planned for a 20-yard bounce to get it to the back.
Oh boy, that's going to be interesting.
I needed a 40-yard bounce.
It sure did.
Gordon Sargent on the tee at the difficult par 4 14th.
Tough tee ball, tough golf hole right here. Over 500 yards. Get some power lines right there. I know when Billy Ray played here, I know I did too, that this was a hole right here that if you made pars on, you picked up shots on the field.
Well, if you're Florida, Ian Gilligan needs to make this for par and still get some help.
This has to go down, just creases that right edge.
And two of their counting scores today, Gilligan and Bell both doubled 18. They didn't birdie the second, not a single birdie, the easiest hole of the day.
Yeah, when you look back, it's the woulda, shoulda, couldas.
It's kind of the same thing for Oklahoma and what they've dealt with. Let's go over to the par 3 8th, 17th hole for Jackson Coyven of Auburn. 1 under today and just a shot off the lead for the individual.
Yeah, just trying to hoist it way up in the air. That should stay on the green, and that's a pretty good shot. It's on the correct section.
Who's not a shot off the lead for the individual? It's a wild finish. Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech. He's sitting in the clubhouse. He's already posted that 3 under par. Over at 14, Ben James playing his second shot, just a shot off the lead.
Back right hole location. There is a penalty area to the right. 227. Trying to chase back there, was right on line. Quality golf shot there for Ben. Only 1 out of the lead on the individual.
Think about some of the putts that he's missed. He and Gordon Sargent.
Now Palmer Jackson at 7 short of the green, his third.
Gonna drive it in there low, try to chase it up to the back part of this green. That's okay. Not an easy pitch shot, that's for sure.
Gordon Sargent playing his second into 14, according to Bushnell. It is 188 yards to the hole. Did you know that the new Bushnell Pro X3 Plus actually gauges the wind when connected to the Bushnell mobile app? Can't use it in the collegiate game, but the wind today about 8 miles per hour out of the west.
That's more like it. Gordon Sargent right on line, just a little short.
And Ben James part of that group, and Burko, a very accomplished group of players.
Yeah, the U.S. Walker Cup held at St. Andrews last year, and a rally that Sunday afternoon singles by the Americans to get the job done. The home of golf, remarkable few days there, and for Ben and Gordon to take those experiences and bring them back to college and amateur golf, invaluable.
Over at 18, this for Eagle for North Carolina, and this is Maxwell Ford. And did he get it?
Just get over that little crest. It would go down another 3 or 4 feet.
In the women's championship match, we had a hole out for Eagle. If you kind of land it right where the women's semifinal hole was cut, it feeds right down to the hole. Haven't had a hole out yet today here at 18, but I'm expecting one. Lengthy birdie putt for Jackson Coyven, and this would give him a share of the lead at 3 under. Hiroshi Tai has already posted 3 under for Georgia Tech.
Pretty good effort right there for Jackson.
Auburn, the #1 team in the country this year, comfortably inside the top 8 as far as match play is concerned. Georgia Tech is posted plus 25. Illinois currently sits atop the leaderboard. They're the only team in red figures. They're at 2 under. Max Herendeen currently 1 over today is a counting score for the Illini. He'll be first to play here at 14, is missing the green to the left.
Yeah, it's an interesting chip. And it's right back into the green, the grass coming down to the collection area. Got to catch the ball first. A good catch there.
Yeah, all about the catch, Billy Ray. Really well done. See how that ball checked, released. Very nice.
Yeah, I can say head coach Mike Small, the Illinois Illini, gave it a thumbs up there. His approval.
Tough to get his approval.
It is.
No, he's
Mike Small, heck of a player, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Palmer Jackson, this for par at the 7th to stay tied at the lead.
just have to keep the speed up. He'll wander to the right.
So the lead all alone for Hiroshi Tai. Once again, a 3 under.
Ohio State currently in the 7th spot. Shipley playing his 4th at the par 5. It'll come off that ridge and feed back toward the hole. Shipley even on his round today.
Could go in. Really well done there for Neal.
But par is good for Ohio State in this situation. Gordon Sargent now for his birdie over at the 14th.
Now this putt here is much slower than what the player would anticipate. Not much break in it.
It'll go a little left at the end, but you're right, Billy Ray. As it loses speed, it'll go left, but good effort. Get through 14. Just get through the 14th.
One of those putts you talked about that actually has some of the ocean effect there. It looks like it wants to go a little bit left, and at the end straightens up. It's certainly something the players have to factor in on these putts.
Sargent missed a short birdie putt at 6. Didn't make birdie, had a short one at the 10th. Hit a poor second shot into 11. Or else what could have been. Ben James, after a wonderful shot in, another kind of slow putt, Billy Ray, but this for a share of the lead.
He got a wonderful read from Sargent. I like his chance at here, guys. Early call for me.
Should move a little left at the end. Oh, just creases that right edge, Billy Ray. Great effort.
Just hung there. Just didn't take as much turn at the end. Kind of straightened up at the end, but a wonderful try there.
So
now these players leave 14 and go to 15. And difficult till it all starts now.
Now Carl Phillips at 7, finishing up on the front 9. His second, 2 under, 1 back.
See that whole location back there, Steve? It's like an infinity pin. There's nothing behind it. A couple of those out there today. Back sections of these greens.
Oh, good job.
Carl Phillips started the day a couple shots back, 2 back of Adam Wallen, and now he finds himself 1 shot back. And he's 1 over on his round.
And he's got a chance for an individual championship here, representing the Stanford Cardinal in his final collegiate start. They're all trying to catch Hiroshi Tai, who's done at 3 under.
Still trying to figure out who's going to win the individual title. Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech shot a 1 under par 71. Was a little shaky down the stretch. Made a clutch par over at the 9th hole, his final hole. He has posted 3 under as we take you over to 15.
Sargent 1 back with driver.
Yeah, aggressive play here. This is such a interesting play here at the 15th. The risk reward, that's for sure.
He's hitting it up towards the front of the green and trying to get in those bunkers. Now that's going to leave an awkward little pitch shot.
I'm telling you, know, he was aiming for that little. Yeah, he was aiming there.
It's time now for College Memories, presented by Stiefel after Gordon Sargent won 2 years ago. Last year was the year for the Florida Gators. Fred Biondi rolls in this birdie putt from off the green at the 8th at Grayhawk. He had started the day 5 shots behind Georgia Tech's Ross Steelman. Biondi would shoot a final round 67 in capturing the men's individual championship. But work wasn't done as he gives Studley Hart a high 5. You win the individual title on Monday and then help the team go win the team championship as the 3rd seed squaring off against Georgia Tech at the par 4 18th. Biondi had 2 putts to lock things up. Thumbs up. Putt was conceded. Hat off. Handshake. And then let the party begin in Gainesville as the Florida Gators complete the clean sweep. Biondi winning the individual title and delivering the deciding point to give the Gators their 5th team national championship and their first in the match play era. Those are the college memories presented by Stiefel. Take a look at the individual champions, recent winners. Turk Pettit, a winner in 2021. Matthew Wolf won by 5 shots. How about Brock Everett at Karsten Creek winning in a playoff?
Over at 9, Florida Gators wrapping up. Jack Turner probably would need it to go and still wouldn't be enough. They just didn't get it done on the easier front 9.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier that it had been playing the easiest even for the women and most of for the men, and just didn't play out that way. 7, 8, and 9 were all they could handle.
Yeah, Florida was 10 under on the front 9 yesterday in the 3rd round. Back at 7, Carl Phillips, long one for birdie and a share of the lead.
This goes uphill into that back section. Really nice effort there for Carl.
Jackson Koiven not out of it. One back, his second at 9. The last hole of the day for the Auburn Tigers.
Got that back left hole location.
Almost made 2.
That
gonna struggle to make 4.
Was an awful break.
How about that for a potential walk-off to get to 4 under?
It almost hoops it for the walk-off individual title, and now he's in the bunker. Now check this out. This just slams the flag stick.
If it doesn't hit it, maybe 8, 10 feet at worst.
Maybe it would have flown past the flag, had some spin. He would have had a really good effort. Nothing you can do about that. Bad break there for Jackson.
And while we have a moment, let's send it down to Brentley Romine.
Thanks, Burko. I'm with Georgia Tech's Hiroshi Tai, 1 under 71 today to post the clubhouse lead at 3 under par. Hiroshi, one of the biggest rounds of your career, if not the biggest. What are the emotions like, not only playing for a national individual title, but also trying to get your team into match play?
It's pretty nerve-wracking. We're obviously trying to make it into match play as a team. And I think we probably just did enough to get in. And then kind of down the stretch, you kind of realize you're playing pretty good eventually. So that got kind of nervous at the end as well.
16 strong holes, and then you get to the par 3 8th, make a triple bogey. What's going through your head at that point, and how do you regroup?
I mean, I just didn't hit a great iron shot. Kind of got unlucky in the bunker with the lie, like kind of plugged. But after that hole, Coach Epler was with me, so I just talked to him a little bit. And I mean, we still had one more hole to play and everything to play for with the team. So it was all right. I wasn't too upset or anything.
Hiroshi, great round today. Guys, back to you.
Brentley, appreciate it. What a journey for Hiroshi Tai, the sophomore from Singapore. Graduated high school in 2020, then went to the Singapore Navy for 22 months to honor his military service commitment before heading to Georgia Tech. Might leave this day as a national champ.
I think it could be perfect.
But Ben James, Gordon Sargent, and others still have something to say about it as we head out to 15 with their seconds.
I think it's like a perfect
110. Well, I'm trying to hit it.
Yeah. Where are we going with this? A little right of it?
Yeah, that blue top right there. You see it?
Yep.
All the calculations done now, just 110 yards. Definitely going to play this just a little right of the flag here. Not much room to work with once you clear this bunker. It's actually on the downslope, so you have to catch good here and actually try to get as much spin as possible.
Yeah, it's just in its own little section right there. Now that needs to slow down. That'll go down to the bottom level.
That's a bit unlucky there. He was trying to hit it right of the flag. I thought it was going to be enough to stay on the proper level, but that last bit of spin took it down.
Yeah, just a couple of feet from being really good.
Now Herendeen.
Yeah, Mike Small right behind him, his head coach. He does 100 yards.
Yeah, if he tugs it at all, it'll go down the left side, and that's where that'll go.
And that's That's the beauty of this hole. You get just a bit aggressive. You're just a small fraction off, John, and you pay the price.
Yeah, it's a tiny little plateau that this whole location is sitting on. Now,
we're going to keep
set
it
up
here
Gordon
for Sargent BR. I mean, his drive is 10, 12 paces short of the front of the green on that line.
Yeah, you know, if he was right at the bunker, he'd be fine. He is in no man's land right here, coming off a tight lie. He's got to go over the bunker, come up the slope to a green that runs away from him. I mean, if he really rolls the dice here and tries to hit the perfect shot, he brings in at least a bogey into here. This is very, very difficult here to do.
Yeah. If the catch and contact is spot on, he can spin this, but so difficult.
John, I think that's about as good as he could do from that position there without trying to bring in a big number.
I'll give him a golf clap on that. That was really well done.
A soft golf clap.
Soft.
Now over at 9 after the awful break for Jackson Koivin's got to hold this to tie at 3 under.
Go!
That deserved to go in, actually. Good effort. How about 4 feet now for par?
Notre Dame's Palmer Jackson coming off bogey at the 7th. His tee shot at the par 3 8th.
Yeah, he's trying to carry it in about the low 180s. He's done that.
Oh, got a hard bounce there, Jim, and threw the green into the rough.
Jackson Chandler for Ohio State has this putt for birdie at 18, as Ohio State looking to lock down that number 7 spot.
And Bob, it was getting away from them. They had fallen to 24 over, still with 15 through 18 to play. John, your Buckeyes really stepped up.
And that guarantees them that they will make match play, because Adam Wallen is currently at +4. Their non-counting score is +6, so they're going to get into match play for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, they kind of righted the ship. Adam Wallen with those 3 double bogeys and 4 holes.
I thought that Shipley birdie at 15
Huge.
was gigantic for the Buckeyes.
They had a couple really good par saves on 16 and 17. It makes all the difference in the world.
And speaking of 15, birdie putt for Ben James on the way.
Right in the jaws.
That got his attention the entire length of the putt there. He thought he made it, just came as it got up that slope, just came to a quick halt there. Nice putt though.
You know, John, it's intriguing. All these guys at 2 under, they probably have a sense at 3 unders to target in the clubhouse. At what point or what hole do you say, all right, this is where I've got to maybe force the issue?
Well,
because we know these last few holes are no bargain.
Yeah, 16 is really rough to try to get it close. It has to be the perfect shot. But 17 and 18 are doable. With the length that these guys hit it, 18 is definitely reachable.
Over at 9, Jackson Koivin finishing up this for par to get in at 2 under, and the sensational freshman season will continue at least one more for Jackson. Auburn locked in at 19 over. They're making match play, and barring something unforeseen, going to be that 6th seed. Herondeen's birdie putt at 15 also probably caught his attention for a bit.
Yeah, slow putt up that slope, breaking to the right. Herondeen at 1 under. Count him out just yet.
We've been saying that for the last 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Nobody's made that move.
Can Sargent make the move with this look at 15?
Well, we've seen that he hasn't had much luck from short distance. He's missed a couple birdie putts from short distance, but he's been pretty good at this range right here. John, this putt doesn't have a ton of break here, though. But back to your question, Burko, these guys know exactly what's into the clubhouse. The coaches are by, and I'm sure with these teams safely into match play already, they're thinking about the individual title right now, and I'm sure they know exactly where they stand.
Yeah, that's a great point. They can free it up from here on in. Not much to this putt. Might want to work a little left if it loses speed, just like that.
The good news, Gordon Sargent giving himself a handful of reasonable chances. Flip side of it, hasn't converted.
Over at 18, Luke Clanton playing his third shot. He's just a shot off the lead.
It's a good one here. He'll have a chance. That'll actually
go to the back part of the
green and have the same putt that Maxwell Moldovan had just a couple holes before, a couple groups before.
The individual title hanging in the balance. Hiroshi Tai has posted 3 under. Can anybody catch him to win the hardware today? After birdie at the 6th, Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame had a share of the lead. Made bogey at 7. This is his second at the par 3 8th, his 17th hole.
Well, that was an interesting play. He went way upstairs from just off the green and got that heel kind of drag into the turf, kicked it to the left.
So Adam Wallen currently at 1 under for Ohio State. He started the day with a 2-shot lead over Ben James and Carl Phillips. He's gotten it to the front here in 2. And John, there's that one spot he's got to get it to that it'll feed right down to the hole.
Yeah, he's got to be looking pretty good to the right to start, Bob. Then the slope will kick it to the left, and once it gets down about 15 feet from the hole, it goes over a little slope. So that's to the moving to the right now, back to the left. Needs to go to catch that little runway. That's pretty well done.
Yeah, I think he needed to hit it just a little bit harder. So he'll have that for birdie, but he needed to make that in order to tie Hiroshi Tai at 3 under. He's in the clubhouse.
That's all kinds of stuff going on here. It kicks it to the right. Now that slope, kick it down to the left. It'll catch the down slope now towards the back of the green. There are a lot of ways to play that. You could have pitched it. I think you made the correct choice.
Palmer Jackson of Notre Dame needs to make this for par. And he will not. So he bogeys 7 and 8 after having a share of the lead. He's going to have to hole out his second shot at the difficult 9th in order to tie Hiroshi Tai at 3 under. Over at 16, Tyler Goki has this putt for birdie. And John, when we hit this one, there's a little upslope, and then it comes back down and then goes to the right.
And it's slow. Seemed to be slow as well, so that his work is not done.
Illinois right now with an 11-shot lead for the #1 seed. Carl Phillips of Stanford on the tee at the 8th. Phillips just a shot off the lead. Only been 6 birdies at the 8th, playing as the 3rd hardest hole today.
It's so hard to get over those bunkers and hold it on the back of the green, and that seems to be the only place you can really hit it.
We saw earlier some guys hit it into the upslope and got a fortuitous bounce.
Taking a big chance doing that.
Now, Luke Clanton has this putt for birdie and a share of the lead at 18.
Yeah, we've seen this putt. It does break left. It goes uphill pretty significantly. The ocean is behind him, and the slope is going straight up the slope.
And really, Florida State is comfortably into match play, so you might as well give it the full run.
Hard to match the speed in the line right here. He did give it a run. That was a good effort. He knew he needed it.
I want to thank Kate Peterson on this Memorial Day, the cadet from the San Diego State Air Force ROTC. You saw Kate holding the American flag on this Memorial Day on the 18th green. We thank all the men and women for their service to our country and those who have given their lives to defend democracy so we can enjoy things like NCAA Collegiate Championship golf and all the other wonderful things that we're afforded by being here in the United States of America. Take you back over to 16 when Gil Hance did the renovation here. They moved the green here at 16 and created an effect as the 12th hole at Augusta. That was the desire. Now it's still got to grow in, but anything short is going to roll into the penalty area, into the water at 16. You got that bunker in front. Because it's a new green, and this is the first play these last 2 weeks on this golf course, these greens are firm.
Yeah, now the green sets in almost like the opposite of 12 at Augusta. 12 goes from the left to the right deeper. This goes from the right to the left deeper, but it's a good look.
We saw in the women's competition a lot of balls wind up in the water.
Well, to their advantage, though, that was a pitching wedge there from 156.
And there you go. That's what happens. It has to land so perfectly just over that bunker with a high spinner, which is tough to do.
Well, John, the fortunate thing is we're that directly in line with the flagstick in front of the teeing ground. As a player, you look, that bunker's there, but the sand is very soft. That's okay. It'll keep it out of the water, but more than likely, that coming in with the wedge, that ball's going to plug.
No doubt about it, Billy Ray. It's a great point.
Ben James just a shot off the lead, getting ready to play his tee shot.
No matter what, this is just a really tough stretch to try to navigate some birdies coming down the home hole. Wedge also here.
And you have that onshore wind blowing now, which happens this time of day. So this is downwind. Tough to spin it downwind like that. And that's about as good as you can do.
Yeah,
that was really
that's
well
what
done.
you're looking for. You see that number 156, you're trying to fly it actually past that. 160 is probably their number right now that they're looking at, and it plays downhill just a bit.
Yeah, and with the way the course is playing today, 17 has yielded 9 birdies as Sargent now steps on the tee at 16.
Wedges. All right.
We've seen a lot of putts from right there. All 3. Well done.
Luke Clanton finishing up for his par at 18. And he's going to finish a shot off the lead. Florida State has never won an individual men's Division I golf championship, but Clanton and Florida State firmly in match play. Hiroshi Tai sits and waits with a 1-shot lead here at La Costa. And now Max Herendeen for his birdie.
And coming down the slope, this is a really difficult read, guys. You've said you've seen it all day long. This putt's going back to the right. It is a really difficult read here.
We've seen that all day long. Same putt.
Let's go over to 9. Palmer Jackson needs to hole it.
From 128 yards back into the wind, it might need to get up.
Yeah, it looked like it floated on him right there, Jim.
So the chance for a daily double for the Fighting Irish today. Lacrosse, a national champion. Palmer Jackson going to fall just a bit short.
Ben James now for his birdie and a share of the lead.
Nearly had a chance to really get a good read there from Max. Maybe he's got this putt figured out. Actually, he's got it just a little bit left of the hole, John.
Yeah, it goes up that slope, down the backside, breaking pretty good to the right. He had some speed to it. You see how much that broke.
So now Gordon Sargent will get his opportunity for birdie. Gordon, has been such a fixture for Vanderbilt, winning the individual title as a freshman. Today is his 21st birthday. Can he bring home a second individual title? A birdie here at 16 would move him into a share of the lead.
As you said, Bob, there's only been 3 birdies here all afternoon here at the par 3.
Yeah,
it leaves you shaking your head.
We've seen that before too, just the shake of the head.
But the good news is there have been 9 birdies at 17, and we've had a bunch of birdies and an eagle at 18.
And we know Gordon Sargent's got plenty of length to reach 18. Oh yeah.
Palmer Jackson, this no bargain at 9.
On the downslope, tough to spin this one.
Did a pretty good job. Awkward stance as well there, Jim. So it's pretty good effort.
Now James for his par at 16 to stay within 1. So Ben James 1 over today, heads to 17. We've updated the stats. There have now been 10 birdies at the par 4 17th today.
Take a look at the Fred Haskins Award finalists presented by Stiefel, given out each and every year to the top male collegiate golfer. First handed out in 1971. It's come down to these 3. Jackson Coyven, the standout freshman from Auburn. Luke Clanton from Florida State. And Matt Egya, really good player for East Tennessee State. And speaking of Luke Clanton, he's down with Brentley Romine.
Thanks, Burko, here with Luke Clanton from Florida State. Luke, you gave yourself some looks at the end there. Weren't able to quite get it done, but describe what it's like coming down the stretch on a tough golf course playing for an individual national championship.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. It's a hard golf course out here, and you know, me and my coach were kind of talking about just give myself some chances, and we did. And you know, I think that's how golf works, is when sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. And you know, I think I'm really happy about this week, and I think the team is in a good place. So
now you have to shift your focus to match play tomorrow. You guys lost in the semifinals a year ago at Greyhawk. How much motivation is that this time around?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. We held that very highly to us the whole entire year. We knew that, you know, we wanted to come here and make match play, which we did, and I think that's a very big accomplishment, but we know the job's not finished, and you know, I think if we come out and do what we do, we'll be all right.
Well, you guys certainly have a lot of momentum. Luke, great playing. Burko, back to you.
Thank you.
Brentley, Luke, thank you. Florida State safely in to match play. Palmer Jackson trying to save par at 9.
Lefter.
Heck of a week, heck of a finish to his career. Notre Dame has never won an individual national championship, but they won as a team in 1944 at Inverness. The coach, Father George Hildreth. So 80 years ago, maybe a little divine intervention by Father George and the Fighting Irish, but Palmer Jackson has been a fixture on that team for the last 5 years. All right, let's head over to 17. Ben James getting ready to go. Can anyone catch Hiroshi Tai?
Yeah, bunker down the right-hand side. 320 to reach that bunker. Fairway's down the right-hand side. It opens up on the left as well. You like to work this ball a little bit from right to left off this bunker on the right.
He's got it aimed way out to the right, Billy Ray, so he's trying to hit a big sweep and hook. You drive it in the fairway here, Billy Ray. It opens up this whole location. It's a birdie opportunity. Didn't hook enough.
Well, Ben James has parred 17 the first 3 days. Gordon Sargent, who's also at 2 under, 1 back, doubled the 17th in the very first round. So let's see if he can find a way to make a 3.
You know, you think that bunker, John, on the right-hand side, that's one you want to just line up. There's so much room out to the left to hit it. That was a mistake by James there.
Yeah, it looked like he had it aimed right there. Now, Gordon Sargent aimed well more to the left. Boy, he's got some speed, doesn't he?
He really has a lot of speed, and I think that's going to work right there, John.
Yeah, if you can hit it 325 and dead straight, that's pretty good. This opens up the hole right now. Now it's just green light situation.
Carl Phillips over at the 8th. He's a shot back. This for birdie.
Needs this to go. Just tails off at the end. Yeah, Sid is right. There's a little slope right there.
Individual title hanging in the balance. Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech has posted that 3 under. Can Phillips, James, or Sargent catch him? Matthew Riedel for Vanderbilt. Playing into 18.
Yeah, his third shot. Little 100-yarder, trying to get it on that slope right there and use it. Get that down slope towards the back of the green. It's really well done.
Vanderbilt right now tied for 3rd with North Carolina in the team standpoint. Riedel counting score even on his round today. The focus is the individual title. Clanton and Koiven are in at 2 under. Tai has already posted 3 under. Phillips has to play the difficult 9th and make birdie there. I think the advantage is to James and Sargent playing 17 and 18 coming in.
Yeah, with Gordon in the middle of the fairway at 17, it really opens up this hole to be a birdie opportunity. Both have the length to reach 18 and 2.
All right, let's go to Max Herendeen from Illinois, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, won the regional at Stanford a couple weeks ago. And if we know anything, Mike Small continues to find these players that maybe aren't the top 10 ranked juniors in the country, Billy Ray, but man, does he do something with them.
He is amazing how he coaches these young men up. It's incredible. He gets very good athletes to come in. They buy into the program and he coaches them up. Just a great success story there for Illinois, that's for sure.
Exactly. I think it's the same shot. Ah. Just left it.
159 here for Max.
Exactly. 3-minute swing.
Pin in that front right. There's a little bit of a slope just left of this hole location, Billy Ray, that he can use. Feeds the ball right to the hole.
And coming in very high, and you step back in the fairway. This hole is very exposed.
Stay right there. Might come back
first
a little.
bounce.
Yeah, it was. Be a slick putt going down the slope, but it's very makeable.
Great look from high above down to the fairway at 17, or the bunker for Ben James.
Well, he's got to get this shot up quickly here. Pretty decent lie. 149.
Catch has to be spot on. Get it over that lip into the front of the green. And that coming out of that bunker will have a lot of spin. So that'll be an awkward little pitch shot.
Good shot. Oh, yeah. Straight up the gut.
He liked it for a while. It was right on line. Now Sargent after another enormous tee shot. Sometimes not a fair fight when Gordon Sargent could hit it that far. And according to Bushnell, Billy Ray, just 127 yards to the hole.
That is correct. I just heard head coach Scott Limbaugh say lock and load.
Total green light situation. Just has to be eyeing the flag stick. Your spot that you want to start it and stop it, and that just misses all the slope, and that's not a very good effort, Billy Ray.
But a long birdie putt nonetheless, Billy Ray, for Sargent. We'll see if he can make it when we come back to La Costa. Back at 17, Ben James 2 under, 1 off the lead, his third short of the green.
Don't be surprised here where this ball has come to rest. He's pitching back up the hill. I actually think I might have the flag stick out here, John Cook. This is a very simple pitch.
Yeah, if he's got a decent lie, it's all about the catch and contact. It's going to have one check, release, holeable. Yeah, checked up on him really quick. You get on these Bermuda grass fairways, your catch, you're going to have a lot of spin on that first check.
Over at 9, Phillips his second. He's 1 back.
Really difficult situation right there. On the downslope, awkward lie.
Over at 18, Matthew Riedel finishing up after that wonderful pitch shot. So post a birdie. Vanderbilt right now in 3rd place as they've moved ahead of North Carolina, who's in at plus 11. We take you back over to 17.
And when you look at Vandy trying to secure what seed. Right now is a 3. Auburn locked in at 6. Would be a rematch of the SEC championship 6 weeks ago and the SEC match play from the fall. Auburn won both times, but still some golf to determine the final seedings, and Gordon Sargent can certainly have a say in that matter.
Then you also have to wonder, Burko, about being the #1 seed. The last 4 #1 seeds, including Illinois last year, have all lost in the semifinals. Oklahoma State, the last #1 seed to win the NCAA title.
And the only #1 seed, Oklahoma State. So as we're in the 15th year of match play for the men, call it that top seed curse. Didn't bother Stanford women, but who knows. But most importantly right now, Sargent for birdie and a share of the lead.
Well, he has to be really careful here tonight to run this past and give himself at least a chance, if he doesn't make it here, to have on the home hole.
Yeah, and it goes to the right and it starts to pick up speed, but pretty well done there. He'll have a chance there at 18. We know he's got the length.
But John, he'll look back at that wedge that he didn't get it inside of.
That's one
10,
of those
12,
things
15 feet.
He'll have to learn and tidy up a little bit, is just to be able to control that. He drives it so good. Everything else about his game is fantastic.
Over at 9, Phillips needs to make it to catch Tai at 3 under.
Pretty unfortunate with that tee shot where it ended up. Really was in no man's land, and that's a tough way to finish. He'll have 20 feet for par.
Now Herendeen for birdie at 17.
Well, overall, not much breaking this putt as it works its way down the hill. Speed's not going to be a big issue, though.
Yeah, a little right at the start and then back to the left at the end. Be so careful with that one, Billy Ray.
Keep it here with Ben James trying to save his par, give himself a chance at 18. And Billy Ray, Hiroshi Tai's been done for the better part of an hour and change. At 3 under par, you've watched James and Sargent, 2 top 5 amateurs in the world, and they just haven't made it happen, for lack of a better term.
Well, it's not, you know, I think the middle part of the round for both of those players, they were unable to make crucial putts. And, you know, that's where you have to make hay on this golf course through the middle part of the round. You get to the finishing holes here on this inward half, it is difficult to make birdies, especially coming down trying to win a national championship individually.
But James in with 4, giving himself a chance as he heads to the par 5 18th.
Plenty of length to reach the par 5. We've seen a number of players press it up towards the green in 2 and come away with birdies. That one eagle as well.
Clanton had a look at 18. Koiven finished up on 9. His second hit the flagstick, ended up in the bunker. Just no one making that last ditch attempt to try to catch Hiroshi Tai, but James and Sargent will have that opportunity at 18.
Take a look at the par 5 18th. Cole Shorewood drove it in trouble here at 18.
This is his 4th shot, so trying to figure out, we've seen a number of players down there and they use that back slope there, Bob. You get it in there nice and low, let it get up to that slope, and it just trickle right back towards the hole. We've seen a lot of good shots from down there.
And he is a counting scorer for Vanderbilt again. Virginia currently has the 2nd spot. Illinois has the 1st spot locked up. North Carolina's done it plus 11. Florida State 5th spot plus 12. #1 team in the country, Auburn, is in the 6th position, followed by Ohio State and Georgia Tech. Then let's see if that comes all the way down. And
it certainly should. Needed to be just a little bit higher on that slope, but pretty well done. This 419 Bermuda grass, you get these lies, you can really spin it.
The individual title hanging in the balance here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. Over to 9.
Carl Phillips for par to get in at 2 under. He will finish up his collegiate career at Stanford, breaking through for that very first win at the Pac-12s. Give a lot of credit in the last year or so, John, to Cole Swatton, who's guided him, mentored him, did a lot with Jason Day. We'll see how Phillips will translate at the next level. Sargent, James, heading to 18, one back, trying to catch Hiroshi Tai.
Trying to figure out who's going to win the individual title. Hiroshi Tai currently sits in the clubhouse at 3 under par. George Thongwangmani has this for par. For Virginia, he is a counting score. So they are now tied for second with Vanderbilt at +10. Jackson Van Paris is not a counting score, but in the second to last group.
Giving it a go there at the 18th. Oh, kind of hit a low spinner. Little cutter up the right-hand side. Well, might just get to the front. It does.
Well, you know, the other thing, John, is even though he's not a counting score, right, his team is playing in match play tomorrow. Give yourself a little boost coming in, and you know, maybe make eagle or birdie at 18. And
yeah, he's +4. I mean, that's not, I mean, not what he was looking for obviously today, Bob, but this is what the coaches are looking for.
Let's talk about this tee shot here at 18, because the further you hit it at 18, that water down the left certainly comes into play.
It can. It pinches in up on the right. The tee is up just a little bit from where they've been playing it. This is a driver for Max.
And that wind is picked up just ever so slightly back in the face here at the home hole, and the temperature's starting to drop, so the ball not traveling as far right now.
Yeah, you get that heavy air, that onshore breeze coming off the ocean. It gets heavy, it gets chilly.
And again, if he makes eagle, that would get him into a share of the lead. He's 2 off the lead of Hiroshi Tai, who's posted 3 under. James and Sargent need at least birdie to tie.
I'm telling you, that tee shot by Max went a long way.
Now, this is 3-wood here for Ben, so he thinks he can drive it through the fairway.
I think that's a very smart play, that he can go up that left-hand side and not be concerned. And this is headed left.
Yeah, it's just up the left-hand side of the fairway, so it should be okay.
John, that is well back. From where that position, that ball came to rest right there, he will not be able to get to the green at all. It actually could be possibly a layup from that position.
Gordon Sargent now with less than driver.
Yeah, if you're taking less than driver, you best get all of it you can.
That hits the cart path
and goes into the thick stuff.
And that is nasty. More than likely where that ball came to rest there for Sargent, he's probably going to get a drop, because he would be standing on the cart path, but not what he needed when needing to make birdie on this home hole.
Tyler Goki's 3rd shot into 18 for Illinois, and that's a beauty.
Very efficient shot right there. A little wedge, had to lay the ball up, couldn't get across in 2, so used his wedge game.
Individual title hanging in the balance. Hiroshi Tai posted 90 minutes ago. Nobody's been able to catch him at 3 under. Hiroshi Tai of Georgia Tech has posted 3 under. Will that be good enough to win the individual title? Vanderbilt and Virginia are currently tied for second right now, and Gordon Sargent in some trouble here at 18.
Yeah, just trying to get a ruling here to the right. The ball has come to rest. Nope. It's outside the penalty area.
It's chilly and into you. Yeah, I like this. Yep. Good target. Don't fall asleep, please.
Yeah, this is just taking a drop off the cart path there. There's no penalty stroke whatsoever.
There it is. That team. This team.
Ben James laying up here at 18. Now backs off.
A little surprised at this that he didn't hit driver and try to force the issue up here. Now it's very interesting. He's going to have to be really careful, John, where he lays this ball up to. He needs to lay it up to a perfect yardage.
I agree, Billy Ray. This is not an easy layup. It's narrow up there, and we always talk about not falling asleep on a layup. Have a plan.
And you can also hit it too close to those reeds. He has not done that. So James is going to need to make birdie here at 18 to match Hiroshi Tai. And really a big break here for Gordon Sargent, Billy Ray, that the cart path, his stance was on the cart path, that he got relief from the lie that he had.
It was a terrific break, Bob, because he was going to be able to advance that ball where it came to rest. And now he's got a possibility where he can actually, he's got to go over an evergreen tree up the right-hand side. The lie's not great, but it's more than likely here. I see a lot of loft on this club. It looks like maybe wedge he can get up over the top of it, but he's going to have a long 30 in no matter what.
It almost looks like he's got a little less club than that. Almost looks like a 9-iron.
Pretty much.
Maybe even an 8-iron.
Here.
Well, I think this is a risky shot right here. The lie's a little iffy right now. You don't have perfect contact. It hits that tree.
Yeah. He can hit some moon balls, so I think he's not really thinking much about hitting that tree. But
Nice, Bob. That
good contact.
Was pure strength right there.
Oh, he got it, pressed it way down there.
So Sargent needs to make birdie. Josh Dongwanmani has this putt for par for Virginia. Counting scored today.
It's a really slow putt.
So he misses that. And now Vanderbilt has moved into the second spot at +10. Back in the fairway, Max Herendeen with his layup.
He's taking a shot at it, Bob. 262 with an iron in his hand.
Into the wind, heavy air. Needs a good bounce, but we've seen a number of good pitches from down there in that collection area, Billy Ray.
I just laugh at 262, air heavy, driving iron in hand. Geez, it's 3-wood. If I had a tee, I'd hit driver, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely.
So Herendeen is going to have to hold that out to get to 3 under. Ben James and Gordon Sargent need to make birdie to force a playoff for the individual title, or else Hiroshi Tai will win the individual championship. Mentioned Troy Madison won it in 2002 for Georgia Tech. Charlie Yates won it in 1934. And Watts Gunn won it in 1927 for Georgia Tech. Back in 1927, those were the years where Yale and Princeton basically won the title every year.
Every year, right.
John, I was amazed to watch how much Gordon Sargent was able to advance this ball up the fairway here. Amazing. Now he's just, both players, James and Sargent, are just right in their wheelhouse at 100 yards.
Yeah, this is where their wedge game, this is what they practice. Got to be very precise with this wedge shot in here. You can use some slope. Green runs away towards the back of the green.
Billy Ray, what do they have in and who's away?
Yeah, Gordon Sargent's going to be first to play.
Is it me or you, Ben?
Well, they're just
Who do
determining.
you think
right
it is?
now.
That's what I got.
It will be Sargent first to play here.
The old flip of the tee.
The old flip of the tee to determine who's away. Now, what's interesting, John, here, they got it up there in this 100-yard range. Both obviously have the same distance, but there is a little bit of breeze back into their face here. This ball's going to spin. You have to be really dialed in and commit to this shot to try to fly it to the hole.
Yeah, if they fly it to the hole, it'll skid off the back edge of the green. They need to land this about 15 feet short and use that little alleyway to get it down close.
Well, we saw with the women, this was the hole location for the championship match. UCLA's Caroline Canales from about this range.
Come on.
Hit a spot where the Saturday or the semifinal hole location was, and it fills right down.
Kind of landed like 97, 98. So 105. There's a lot of wind up there. It's gonna look shy. I think 10's good.
Okay.
Right back. I like that. Okay.
Well, now Ben James is going to play first, and they were talking about the number here. Even though it's 100 yards, factoring just back up the hill a little bit and back into the breeze, factoring 105 yards where they want to fly this ball, just off a slight downslope.
Gordon Sargent will be paying great attention to this. You won't be able to see the ball land, and got it just a little too far. That'll get off the backside of the green, but he'll have an uphill putt, very makeable. Flew it maybe 5 steps too far, Bob. Use that slope. That'll get close. Well done.
Sargent is going to have a good look for birdie at 18 to tie Hiroshi Tai. Ben James will have a putt for birdie as well. Well, there's been some opportunities for Gordon Sargent to improve upon this score. This was at the par 5-6. This was a short one and lipped it out.
Yeah, just hit it way too hard.
And then at the par 5 10th again.
Had it just over the edge of the green in 2. Had a nice pitch shot and wasted opportunity there at the 10th.
He made a couple bogeys after that, but Sargent trying to win his second individual title. Captured at Greyhawk in a playoff in 2022. Shot even par, birdied the first extra hole to beat Parker Cootie, Ryan Burnett, and Eugenio Chikara. And he's going to have a putt for birdie to force a playoff. That was the last time that we had a playoff for the individual. Since we've been doing this in 2014, we had playoff at Karsten Creek when Brock Everett won. Cameron Wilson beat Ollie Snyderjans at Prairie Dune in 2014. Braden Thornberry started the final round 2 shots behind Scotty Scheffler at Rich Harvest Farms to take him down. Bryson DeChambeau of SMU, a 1-shot win over C.T. Pan at Concession in 2015. So Herndon has this to tie, and Billy Ray using that slope. This is very doable.
Very doable.
Well, he chose to just hit that little low spinner and not use the slope. Good shot. He wanted it.
Illinois is comfortably in the top spot, 15 shots clear of Vanderbilt, but that's the beauty of match play, which begins tomorrow morning. It doesn't matter how many shots you're behind. It's match play, and the mindset will change. Hiroshi Tai is over in the practice area. Got to assume that either James or Sargent's making a birdie putt here.
One or both will probably should make.
I would agree too. Both players have left it just to the left of the flagstick, putting back up the hill. Now, Gordon Sargent will get a great read from the putt coming up shortly of Ben James. But both players can be very aggressive with the putt. It looks like it wants to go hard back at the right the very last shot, but from that ocean effect, I just don't see it going back that hard.
Yeah, and the slope of that green, Billy Ray, goes towards the back of the green, so they're putting uphill, and once it slows down, it should break to the left.
And you think about Ben James, we talked about Gordon Sargent missing putts. Remember, James made bogey at the par 5 10th, missed a makeable par putt over at 12.
And missed a short birdie putt at the 11th.
This to match Hiroshi Tai at 3 under.
That was left early.
And John, Gordon Sargent didn't learn anything from that putt.
No, that was left to start.
You know, the other thing, you think about Sargent at the 11th, nearly drove the green to the front of the green at 11 and then hit a poor pitch shot and really didn't give himself a good look for birdie.
Right, a lot of opportunities here. Ben James and Gordon Sargent.
And Sargent back at 15 as well. John drove it just short of the green. It's kind of no man's land, but he was, 10 yards off the green and walked away with par as well.
This one's got some break to it, Billy Ray. This starts out pretty straight, and once it slows down, it'll swing pretty good to the left.
It will, but it's uphill, so see if you can carry enough speed where you can control that break to the left.
And it lips out.
That was a great effort. It had speed, it had conviction. He hit a putt with confidence. It just didn't go in.
The opportunities for Gordon Sargent have been plentiful in this final round. Makes par. Shoots even and misses by a shot.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Has it just outside that right edge. Held his head steady. Held the putter steady. Just everything but go in.
James for his par. He finishes the day 1 over.
Both had their chances, Bob.
Plenty
All kinds of them.
One more look at it. Catches that right lip. A little too much speed. And spun out.
Right on that high line.
Baby!
And with that, Hiroshi Tai has won.
Nice up and down at the last hole, brother.
Oh, hey, you know what that means? Doing the math.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hiroshi Tai has won the NCAA Men's Division I Individual Championship. Congratulations to the sophomore and Georgia Tech with their first individual title since 2002.
Look at this.
Crystal will be here in about 10 minutes.
This is a little slower. It's phone time? Oh, it's Dr. Pepper. You're the champ, baby.
Congratulations to Georgia Tech's Hiroshi Tai. He shoots 1 under in this final round, sits and waits and watches. Nobody caught him. Hiroshi Tai has won the men's individual Division I championship in the 126th edition of the NCAA championships. We will hear from our individual winner, plus match play is set starting tomorrow morning in the quarterfinals. Much more to come from Carlsbad, California. Brackets are set for quarterfinal action. Illinois, the #1 seed, will take on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech advanced to the championship match last year and lost to Florida. North Carolina takes on Florida State in the 4-5 matchup. Virginia earns the 3rd seed against the #1 team in the country this year. Auburn is the 6th seed, and Vanderbilt will square off against Ohio State in the 2-7 matchup. Take a look at the highlights, and Gordon Sargent, Vanderbilt, trying to make a run at the individual title. Started the day 3 shots back of Ohio State's Adam Wallen, and sets up a birdie opportunity at the 5th. But over at the 6th, Wallen playing his 3rd and trying to keep things together.
Yeah, nifty little pitch shot here for Adam. Kept it on the correct side.
Hiroshi Tai really was fantastic. He was bogey free, made the turn, and then rolls that in for birdie at the 3rd. That got him to 4 under on the round, and suddenly he's at 6 under par and has the lead. Sargent with his birdie putt at the par 3 8th, one of the better shots we saw into 8. Ben James also in the mix for Virginia. His birdie putt at the 8th. And the 8th only yielded 6 birdies throughout the course of the day. Hiroshi Tai, though, for par at the 7th. And when this goes in, you're saying, wow, Hiroshi Tai's in really good shape. Meanwhile, on the other side of the golf course, Luke Clanton over at 13 for this birdie, and that got him to 3 under par. Then over at the 8th, Hiroshi Tai, all kinds of problems. Blasts it out of the bunker and clears the green, and you would say touch them all. And suddenly the drama starts to unfold.
Yeah, it was going really fast for Hiroshi right there.
Meanwhile, Coyven, the freshman from Auburn, rolls this in for a long birdie putt.
Then all of a sudden he was in the story.
So at one point there's about 8 guys in the story. Gordon Sargent, his 3rd shot into 18, needs to make birdie to tie.
Yeah,
gives himself a great opportunity.
Yeah, ball hit in the perfect spot right there. Used some slope and had it underneath the hole.
And then this to tie.
Maybe carried us just a little too much speed there, Bob. High side lip out.
Hiroshi Tai would wind up making a triple at the 8th, and then he made an incredible par save at the 9th to post that 3 under par and on the practice area, surrounded by his teammates. And Hiroshi Tai has won the individual championship here in 2024, and he's with Steve Burkowski.
He is indeed, Bob, also alongside Jim Fee, the chair of the NCAA Men's Division I Golf Committee. Jim, I know you got a special piece of hardware to give to Hiroshi.
Yeah, Hiroshi, on behalf of the NCAA Men's Golf Committee, congratulations on being our individual champion.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Hiroshi, you finished the better part of 2 hours ago, and we were just talking. You posted 3 under par. What were the chances when you were done that you thought 3 under would be good enough?
I mean, I didn't really have an idea of where the leaderboard stood up until probably the last few holes. And then I guess once I was done, I didn't think 3 under was good enough because obviously they got the par 5 18th coming up. But I also know like the closing stretch here is really tough, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I was sitting in the clubhouse.
And when you were in the clubhouse watching, what were the emotions like? Because you never want to root against people, but what was it like for you sitting, watching, and waiting?
I mean, I was all right. I was hanging out with the guys. We were checking Florida's team score as well because we're trying to beat them to make match play this year. And so I think that was a little nerve-wracking, but it was all right. I was hanging out with all the teammates and my friends, so it was good.
Trying to make match play as the Yellow Jackets have, but individually you now become the 4th Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket to win a national championship. What does it mean for you to add that name to so much tradition there in Atlanta?
It means a lot to me. Obviously, Coach Epler's done a great job of just recruiting guys and having good aim with all their recruits and the players that they have. So adding my name to that list is awesome, and I'm just surrounded by a bunch of great guys at the team back in Atlanta as well. So it's been a great experience for me.
Hiroshi, congratulations. Well done.
Thanks.
Bob?
Congratulations to Hiroshi Tai as his teammates look on, and now Tai has an opportunity along with his teammates to do what Florida did last year. The defending national champs eliminated. They will not advance to match play, but last year Florida hit the daily double with the individual champion and the team championship.